Episode 61 is on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the best sports show out, Highly Opinionated. I'm your co-host, Josh. I'm working with the best in the game. What's up, JG? How you doing, my brother?
Josh Ross, what's going on with y'all, man? Good to see y'all.
We are good, man. Always good to see you, my brother. What's going on in the world of the Club JG podcast?
Oh, if you didn't catch last episode, I ripped a new one of my favorite football team, the Ravens, after that debacle we saw on Thanksgiving. I think I hit all points accurately, and that's kind of what's been going on. It's kind of my center focus. But we will get to all the action around the NFL. We got some interesting games coming up next week, not only in college but also in the NFL. And this is the best time of the year. Like, we're talking about competitive football left and right. One game can determine the season, the other one can end it. So this is a fun time of the year, especially for Club JG.
We love Club JG podcast. We all subscribe. We like and follow, man. You're doing great things over there. Keep up the great work. I saw you take on the Ravens. Very refreshing to hear someone criticize their team and they're actually right about the criticisms that they have of their team. So, gotta give you your credit, bro. Tip of the cap, bro. You real about your team, so I respect that. Some people are not. So it's good to see you, Tim. No, it is, but good to see you, Tim, Ross. You found me. The guests that we have on later on in the show, you guys are real about your team, so that's always a good thing to see in here. Ladies and gentlemen, the guy that makes us look good with no makeup, the most important guy here on Highly Opinionated. What's up, Ross? How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you feeling, Josh?
I am good, man. Always a pleasure to see you, man. Everything good with you?
Yeah, I can't complain. Just second what JG said, some good football. One of the best times of the year right now. I do want to say, first off, what's up, JG? And also, I checked out your clip as well, and I definitely agree with everything you said from a fellow Ravens fan. So
appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tough week for the Ravens. I'm assuming we'll definitely get to that at some point in time throughout episode 61. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for watching episode 60. Hopefully we are the last to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Let us be the one to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys enjoy your time with your family and friends. Watch some good football. Watch some good sports. That is why we are here to recap the week and get ready for this week in the world of sports. Ross, before we get started, let them know where they can follow us on our social media.
Yes, sir. Y'all can follow us on Instagram at highly opinionated __. Follow us on TikTok at highly opinionated _SS. Follow us on Twitter or X at highly O_SS. And of course, y'all already on YouTube, so make sure you like, subscribe, and I leave a comment.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the place for you. Highly Opinionated is a place for everyone. Again, I say this every week. No matter what affiliation you are, no matter who you rock with, no matter political party, race, etc., we don't care. Everyone has an opinion on sports. This is the place for you. JG, ready to get episode 61 started, my brother?
Absolutely. Let's get to work.
Let's get to work. Let's start off with week 14 college football recap. Week 14 was the last week before conference championship week, so we all know as of now who's playing in the conference championship, who has a real chance of making the college football playoff. Let's start off with the Texas A&M Texas recap. Texas defeated Texas A&M 27-17. Texas A&M was led by Marcel Reed, 20 of 32, 180 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He added 71 yards on the ground. Casey Knepshon, 5 receptions, 57 yards. Texas was led by Arch Manning, 14 of 29, 179 yards, 1 touchdown. He added 53 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown run. Wisner, the running back, 19 carries, 155 yards. Jack Injuries, I think that's his name. 4 catches, 93 yards. Your thoughts on Texas improving that record to 9-3 and dropping Texas A&M for the ranks of the unbeaten? Texas A&M was slated, if they won that game, to go to that SEC championship game. It might be a benefit for them that they didn't go to the SEC championship game. So, we'll see how that goes. But Texas stopped Texas A&M from having an undefeated season. Your thoughts on the game?
I think A&M was due for a loss. I kind of saw the signs the past couple of weeks, especially against that game against South Carolina. I thought there were a lot of leaks there, and I thought that a good team like Texas would probably exploit that. If you recall, I also called Texas. This was the game that they had to win if they wanted to have a shot at the college football playoff, and they got it done. As I said, Marcel Reed really struggled. Two I think really bad interceptions. I think he threw in just coverage that the ball had no chance. There were a couple of interceptions where the ball just had no chance. And Arch Manning, give this guy credit. This is the guy that everyone was ripping apart after that first week against Ohio State. Thought that everyone was prematurely calling him the Heisman favorite, all because of his last name and all that. We didn't really get a chance to really, analyze the player, what kind of player he's going to be. We just kind of assumed because he had Manning as his last name that he was going to be this superstar out of nowhere. But he's gone through the growing pains and he's been playing better football. You just talked about it. That one touchdown passing, 14-29, but had a great run, of that great 30-plus yard touchdown run in a critical moment in the game. And you also have to give this Texas defense a lot of credit. A defense that was not playing that well early on in the season has played a whole lot better. And if you ask me, I think Texas makes a very good case. Now, the one thing that could derail them from getting to the college football playoff is that ugly loss they suffered against Florida, which by the week is looking like more and more of a bad loss. So if they don't make the playoff, I think you can point to that game as the reason why they didn't. But this win against then undefeated Texas A&M definitely makes a strong case for them.
I agree with that. I think Texas should be in consideration of making the college football playoff. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, we will find out who makes the college football playoff this Sunday at 12 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. There will be a selection show. So right before the NFL games, we'll find out what 12 teams qualify to make the college football playoff. Before I talk about Texas A&M, I want to talk about Texas. Give Texas credit. I thought Texas would win the game. Arch Manning did a little bit through the air, did a little bit on the ground with his feet. That Texas defense was going to show up, and it was a rivalry game. Texas had everything to play for. Not necessarily saying Texas A&M didn't have everything to play for, but it doesn't. To me, it doesn't hurt them that they lost their last regular season game, because now they won't make the SEC championship game. And I don't think Texas A&M is better than Alabama or Georgia. That's just my opinion. So I thought they was going to lose to either one of those opponents as well. You lose your last two games, now that puts you in question of are you actually one of the 12 best teams to make the college football playoff? But let me say this about Texas A&M. This might be an unpopular decision. Unpopular thing I'm about to say, or unpopular decision. I don't think Texas A&M should make the college football playoff. They have one good win. They beat Notre Dame. They beat Notre Dame on September 13th, 41-40. Okay, cool. That's good. They play in a vaunted SEC, right? They played Auburn. Auburn fired their head coach. They played Florida. They beat Florida. Florida fired their head coach. They played Arkansas. Arkansas fired their head coach. They played LSU. They fired their head coach. 4 of their 7 wins in conference, they played a team that fired their head coach. So that means 7 wins. They played 3 teams that still have their head coach. They played South Carolina. You said about that South Carolina game, they was down 30-0. They should have lost that game. They played Missouri. They beat them 38-17. Okay, Missouri, it's ranked. So okay, I guess that's their second best win of the season. And then they played Mississippi State, an up and coming Mississippi State team who had just won their first SEC game this season since hiring the new head coach, the head coach that they had last year. This was his first season. This is his first year winning an SEC game. In my opinion, I don't think Texas A&M is one of the 12 best teams. Now, are they going to get in? Yeah, they'll get in. They beat Notre Dame, and they beat Missouri. But if you look hard at their schedule, this is what I do. I don't just watch the game, folks. I actually do my homework and look into what I'm seeing and look into what I'm saying. They played 4 teams. They beat on 4 teams that don't have head coaches. Florida doesn't. Florida, obviously, they've hired coaches now. Florida fired Billy Napier. Arkansas fired Pittman. LSU fired Brian Kelly. They hired Lane Kiffin. We'll at some point get to that conversation. And then Auburn fired Hugh Freeze. So I don't think Texas A&M is one of the 12 best teams. And when Texas A&M play against a team on their level or slightly above them, I think you'll see this in the playoffs. I think Texas A&M, if they make the playoffs, they probably will make the playoffs. They're going home early, in my opinion. So
I can't say I disagree with you. I can't say I disagree with you. Like I said, I saw leaks with this Texas A&M team early before they played Texas. If you want to go back even farther, that game against Auburn, who fired their head coach, they only won 16-10. That wasn't really an impressive win at all, in my opinion. So you just kind of saw this. If you've been keeping an eye on Texas A&M a little bit here and there, you just kind of take a look at these scores and how they play and how they've been winning. It's okay, you're winning, but you look at the level of competition really compared to what we know is also out there in the SEC. And then you get to Texas, who I think was probably, looking back on, probably the best team you played all season long. And this is the result that we got. So it's something to pay attention to going forward.
Yeah. The committee is going to look at Ole Miss, and we're not talking about Ole Miss right now. They're going to look at Ole Miss differently because they don't have their head coach anymore. In my opinion, you should look at teams differently from what they started off to what they are. These teams that Texas A&M beat, LSU was not the same LSU. They would have never fired Brian Kelly. Florida was not the same Florida. They would have never fired Billy Napier. You get what I'm saying? So if they're making this subjective, then we subjectively should look at teams. Just because you're 11-1, that doesn't necessarily mean you're one of the 12 best teams in the country. Now, again, they're going to make the playoff, and they can prove me wrong. But I think Texas A&M going home early. Shout out to Texas. I think Texas should get some strong consideration to make the playoff. They won't make the playoff. They won't. But I think Texas and Vanderbilt, and we'll get to Vanderbilt in our third recap game, they should have strong consideration of making the college football playoff. The next game we're going to recap, ladies and gentlemen, the number 1 team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes, finally ended the streak against Michigan. They defeated the Michigan Wolverines 27-9. Julian Sand, another Heisman-type performance, 19-26, 233 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Bo Jackson, not that Bo Jackson, but Bo Jackson, 22 carries, 177 yards. Carnell Tate, 5 catches, 82 yards, including a touchdown catch, 50-yard touchdown catch, Michigan. Bryce Underwood, 8 of 18, 63 yards, 1 INT. Jordan Marshall, 7 carries, 61 yards. And Donovan McCulley, 3 catches, 46 yards. I'll start us off in the recap. I'll be very quick with this. Ohio State was the better team. They wanted revenge. They sought out revenge. Michigan, in their biggest games of the season, they can't pass the ball. They went out and played Bryce Underwood, but yet don't let Bryce Underwood play quarterback. It's crazy how that works. Michigan had a chance early in the game to put pressure on Ohio State. Michigan came out, got up 3, had a big run on their first drive, got up 3-0. Ohio State's first drive, Julian Sand throws an interception. Michigan returns the ball in Ohio State territory. They get a field goal out their drive. We all were in the group chat. Everyone was in the group chat texting. At that point, the game was over. Michigan needed to score a touchdown at that point and could not score a touchdown. Michigan to score a touchdown alone. They kicked 3 field goals. You're not going to kick field goals and beat Ohio State. Congratulations to Ryan Day. Now I guess Ryan Day can keep his job. I mean, he did win a national championship, but y'all wanted to fire him last year because he couldn't beat Michigan. So happy for Ryan Day. He gets to keep his job in Columbus. Congratulations, Ryan Day. You get to keep your job one more year until maybe you lose to Michigan next year. Sharon Moore, please, bro, just word wise. I want to give you some wise words, my brother. You're paying all that money for the quarterback. Let him throw the damn ball. It's a tough watch to watch you. Bro, Michigan's going to play what Michigan do. They're going to smash mouth you. That's fine, bro. You have a very good, talented, possibly an elite quarterback. Let him throw the damn ball. Please.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with many of what you said. Michigan had a chance to actually win this game because early on in the game, they were running the ball very effectively. Ohio State really didn't have an answer for that. But it's just when it was time to pass the ball, I thought the play calling was very mediocre to lame, if I want to put words on it. You got this kid, Bryce Underwood, who everyone was talking about before the season as this next great young quarterback. Well, I didn't really get to see him do much because I thought the play calling was pretty basic, if not anemic. Like, you didn't even pass for 100 yards. And I don't even put that all on Bryce Underwood. I put a lot of that on the play calling. You're being conservative is not going to beat in Ohio State. You have to be aggressive. You have to show that you're trying to win the game, not just stay in it and be respectable. It's one thing I hate about with teams when they get to these big games. It's like we want to be respectable. We don't want to get our butts kicked. We want to show that we're playing hard and that we can compete with these guys and we can stay in it. Okay, that's cute. You know, I might work on a speech in Rudy or one of those motivational speaking. But like at the end of the day, you're still getting your ass kicked. Ohio State is doing whatever they want to you. I guess a really good Michigan defense who I thought held it down as long as they could. But at some point in time, no matter how great your defense is, if your offense doesn't give you some kind of a hand, eventually you're going to break down. And that's exactly what happened here. I've been very impressed with Julian Sand. I've came into the season with a few question marks because unproven, the first year starting and everything. I didn't know a ton about him. And watching those first couple of games, I was like, okay, he's all right, but let's see, as he goes down the road, he's continued to be impressive. He is great with checking the ball down. If those first couple of reads aren't there downfield, all right, I'll take the check down. Very smart football, not being reckless with the football, and get into his guys, the two best receivers, in my opinion, in college football, in Tate and Jeremiah Smith. When in doubt, get it to your guys. Get it to your playmakers. And that's exactly what Julian Sayin is doing. And I don't see why Ohio State can't go back to the national championship.
I've said this on the show, and I'm still standing by it. Texas A&M was undefeated. They lost. There's only 2 undefeated teams left. They just so happen to play each other this week. So I don't think there will be an undefeated national champion. So I'll just leave that at that. I have not changed my thought process on that. So I think eventually Ohio State will lose a game. I'm going to say the same thing I said about Texas A&M last week. I'm going to say to Ohio State, I would rather lose a game now than lose a game, starting 2-3 weeks from now. Because when you lose those games, ain't no coming back. You can lose the Big Ten championship game and still come back. They're not, when the playoffs start, it's win or go home. So congratulations to Ohio State. They are undefeated. They improved to 12-0, and Michigan drops to 9-3. Last game we're going to recap from crazy Week 13 schedule in college football. The Vanderbilt Commodores. Week 14 recap. Last game we're going to recap Week 14 college football schedule. The Vanderbilt Commodores defeated the Tennessee Volunteers 45-24. My guy, Diego Pavia, 18 of 28, 268 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He added 165 yards on the ground with a touchdown. Alexander, 10 carries, 115 yards, 3 touchdown runs. Junior Sherrill, 3 catches, 76 yards. Tennessee, Joey Aguilar, 29 of 44, 299 yards, 1 touchdown. Deshaun Bishop, 20 carries, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chris Broswell II, 6 catches, 91 yards, 1 touchdown. Your thoughts on Vanderbilt improving their record to 10-2 and dropping Tennessee to 8-4?
Could Diego Pavia be making a case for the Heisman that we haven't been talking enough about? That's the first question that comes to my mind. I mean, you talk about 268 yards passing, another 165 on the ground. That's kind of wild. That needs to kind of get more attention than I think it's been getting. I never was really high on Tennessee. I think Joey Aguilar is a very average to mid quarterback at best, in my opinion. Love the story. Don't take away from him. I love the story of Joey Aguilar. If you're familiar with it, where he started to how he got to Tennessee. It's awesome. Definitely don't want to poo-poo on that. But just as far as the play, and how Tennessee's been, I kind of expected Vanderbilt to handle their business. This is a different Vanderbilt era. We're looking at these guys. They're showing up in big games and they're making statements. Vanderbilt's no longer the doormat of the SEC that's been laughed at for what feels like forever. This is a new era. Vanderbilt's got a legit shot to get into the college football playoff, and I got to tell you, that's not a team I want to see if my favorite team is going against them in the playoff. They are tough, hard-nosed, led by their leader in Diego Pavia. They can run the football. Their defense is coming along very well. And they've got some guys on the outside here. Junior Sherrill, Trey Richardson. These guys can really make plays. Eli Stowers, another great receiver who I think is going to be pretty high in this year's NFL draft. These guys can make plays. So Vanderbilt, they are a sleeper in the college football playoff. It wouldn't shock me if they got, I think, relatively far. Dare I say the Final 4, Final 8, if you want to call it, in the college football playoff. Just be on the lookout for Vanderbilt because they're coming.
Yeah, Eli Stowers should be one of the highest tight ends rated in this draft. He can move, 62 catches on the season, 769 yards, 4 touchdown catches. So if you're looking for that stick tight end, that Mike Gesicki type of tight end that can move, catch the ball, run great routes, he can block a little bit better than Gesicki, but can move and run great routes. Stowers is definitely your guy. I'll definitely give you that. Looking at Vanderbilt's defense, they basically defense by committee when it comes to sacks. Their highest guy on sacks has 4.5. So they got 4, 4.5, 4, 3.5, 3.5, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. So it's a collaborative team effort. I want to give a shout out to Clark Lee, Diego Pavia, as you mentioned. Let me say this: when they invite the candidates to the Heisman Trophy ceremony, Diego Pavia better be one of them because he definitely should be in the Heisman conversation. Him, Julian Sand, Fernando Mendoza, and in my opinion, Julian Love. Those should be your 4 Heisman candidates. You feel me? So I think Diego Pavia has played very, very well. And I think for Vanderbilt to be 10-2 and have a chance to make the college football playoff, Clark Lee has done a hell of a job. Hell of a job at Vanderbilt. Like you said, taking them from what they were, the doormat of college football and the SEC, to now they're real. When I say contender, I don't think they will win the SEC, but they have a chance of winning the SEC. And we never thought that Vanderbilt would be in that position. So shout out to Vanderbilt. Shout out to my boy Clark Lee. As far as Tennessee, I used to work at a job where a guy was a Tennessee fan. He used to talk all this stuff about Tennessee, how Vandy was the little brother and all this and all that. Well, I think Tennessee's the little brother now. As long as Clark Lee is there, Vanderbilt will be in contention in the SEC.
And I don't know if you saw it, like, while watching the game, they showed the interview with Diego Pavia. He was on Bussin' with the Boys. That's with Taylor Lewan, and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Will Compton.
Will Compton, yeah, thank you. So he basically had said that, why would you not want to come to Vanderbilt over Tennessee? We're in Nashville. We're in a more attractive city, and we're already the better team. And we're going to be the better team. Like, so Diego Pavia said all that before this rivalry game, and they came out and did that to Tennessee. That's saying that's a seismic shift in what we've been knowing Vanderbilt and Tennessee in terms of their history. Because now you got people thinking, well, hey, Nashville, Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee. Where would you rather go?
Yeah, simple for me. Let's go to Nashville every day of the week. So shout out to Diego Pavia. Shout out to Vanderbilt. Can't wait. I don't think they'll make I think they should get consideration to make the playoff, but I don't think they'll make it. Very interested to see what bowl game Vanderbilt goes to. Great season for Vanderbilt, 10-2. They dropped Tennessee to 8-4. Ladies and gentlemen, it is conference championship time. It's conference championship week in college football. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen, you see the notable other college football conference championship games. Conference USA, Kennesaw State at Jacksonville State. Those teams have met before. Jacksonville State won the first game 35-26. That was on November the 15th, so about 2-3 weeks ago. The Sun Belt, Troy at James Madison. This is their first time playing. North Texas and number 24 Tulane. This is their first meeting of the season. UNLV and Boise State. That game is Friday night on Fox. This is their second time playing. Boise State defeated UNLV on the same field, 56-31 on October the 18th. In the MAC championship, you have Western Michigan and Miami of Ohio. This game is Saturday at 12 o'clock on ESPN. This game will be in Detroit at Ford Field. So those are your notable conference championship games. Those games on your screen are very notable because if the ACC champion is Duke, if Duke upsets Virginia in the ACC championship, James Madison, Tulane, both of those teams could make the college football playoff because they will be ranked higher than your ACC champion Duke, which is currently unranked, and are ranked below those two teams in the ranking. So very, very interesting as we get to conference championship week. Now, for the 4 games that we're going to pick, let's start off with the game on Saturday, the first game. That is a rematch in the Big 12 championship. The BYU Cougars take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. This game is Saturday at 12 o'clock on ABC. Texas Tech is favored by 12.5. The over-under is 50.5. Texas Tech won the first meeting in Lubbock, 29-7. That game was on November the 8th. So, John, who wins the Big 12 championship? Does Texas Tech sweep BYU, or does BYU get revenge against Texas Tech?
Texas Tech wins in a landslide. I'd say maybe about 30. I don't see anything BYU can change or do anything with Texas Tech. Has been the team that I think has flown under the radar. It's funny. It's crazy to say that because they're a number 5 team in the country, but they've been, in my opinion, flown under the radar. They haven't been talked about as much as other teams that we've mentioned. Morton, that quarterback, has been lighting it up. Cameron Dickey, one of the better running backs in the SEC, and also Caleb Douglas, one of the better receivers. These guys have weapons everywhere. Their defense is legit. I don't see anything BYU can do to actually contend with them. So I think Texas Tech actually wins very easily.
Very easily. So you expect them to cover that 11.5?
I do.
So BYU is led by Bear Brockmeyer. He has over 2,500 yards on the almost 2,600 yards, 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Texas Tech is led by Morton. He's played in almost every game. He was hurt the one game that they lost. Other than that, he's been on the field. He's been their leader. He has almost close to 2,500 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. For me, I am with you. I'm in agreement. I don't think Texas Tech blows them out, but I think Texas Tech wins the Big 12. I said this before the season started. I thought Texas Tech spent $20 million on their roster. You spend $20 million on the roster in college, you better win. So they understood the objective from the start. I think the Texas Tech Red Raiders are your Big 12 champions when this game is over. And also, Texas Tech is doing teams under them a favor. If BYU wins this game, they're going to steal a bid from someone else. Because Texas Tech is going to make the playoffs because they beat BYU already. So I don't see how you could leave both. I don't see how you could leave Texas Tech out when they beat them already in the season. So I think Texas Tech not only wins the Big 12 championship for them, but they win it for the teams below them. The Alabamas, the Notre Dames, the Miamis, those type of teams that's, trying to fight to get into the college football playoff. So we both like Texas Tech to beat BYU. This game will be Saturday, 12 o'clock on ABC. Next game that we're going to preview is the SEC Championship. College Game Day will be live at 9 a.m. from the Georgia Dome. From Atlanta, Georgia. I don't know if they'll be at the Georgia Dome, but they'll be in Atlanta, Georgia for College Game Day. College Game Day, Saturday, 9 o'clock on ESPN. They are there because the Alabama Crimson Tide take on the Georgia Bulldogs. What do you know? They play again. They met early in the season. Alabama defeated Georgia 24-21. That game was September 27th. So that's way back about 3 months ago. So very interested to see the rematch. I'll start us off in this game. Alabama and Georgia. Alabama is favorite in this game against Georgia. Georgia's favored by 2.5. The over/under is 47.5. Georgia coming to this game 11-1. Alabama comes into this game 10-2. I am going to take. I'm gonna take Alabama. I think Alabama finds a way to sweep Georgia. I just think Georgia has an Alabama problem, just like Texas has a Georgia problem. I think Georgia has an Alabama problem. So I'm gonna take Ty Simpson. I'm gonna take Caleb DeBoer. I'm gonna take Alabama to defeat Georgia and clinch their spot into the college football playoff.
Both teams coming off of tough rivalry games. Georgia narrowly escaped Georgia Tech, just 16-9 last week. Alabama narrowly escaped in the Iron Bowl against Auburn, which is always a tough game. It doesn't matter what the records are. But I agree with you. There's just some teams that have your number, and when it comes to Kirby Smart, Alabama, whether it's Nick Saban or Caleb DeBoer, they seem to have his number. I think Alabama will rise to the occasion and they will win the SEC championship because they're playing against a team and they're underdogs. They're very good when they're underdogs. They don't seem to do well when they're favorites, especially double-digit favorites in the Caleb DeBoer era. So you don't have to worry about Bama not being ready to play and possibly screwing up a game they shouldn't lose. Because honestly, there's a lot of people that think they shouldn't win this game. So by that, I think Ty Simpson will rise to the occasion. I think Tate and Jeremy Bernard, they will rise to the occasion as well. We got to see what's going on with Jan Miller because it was a pretty nasty injury he suffered against Auburn. So that definitely compromises the running game to a degree. But the key for this game is Alabama's defense against Georgia's running game. Which side of the ball is going to prevail? Whoever takes control of that game is going to tell me what I need to know about this game. But I'm going to go with Alabama to take out Georgia one more time in the SEC championship and solidify their position in the college football playoff.
We both like Alabama, or as John said, go ahead. I'll let you do what you do when you pick Alabama.
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide.
So we both like Alabama to beat Georgia. I'm going to say this. You mentioned Georgia's run game. If you watch the Iron Bowl Saturday, Alabama started to get their run game going. If they can do that and free up Ty Simpson, take a little bit of pressure on Ty Simpson, I think that can definitely help them in this SEC championship game. So we both like Alabama to defeat Georgia. The next game that we're going to preview, Conference Championship Week, is the ACC Championship. The Duke Blue Devils are in the ACC Championship, and they are taking on the Virginia Cavaliers. Virginia's favored by Virginia's favorite. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at this. I'm sorry, John, your turn. This is a conference championship. It's not as sexy as Florida State and Miami or Clemson and Miami or Clemson and Florida State. This is the best two teams record-wise in the ACC. So we got Duke and Virginia. Virginia's favored by 3.5. The over-under is 57.5. The major conference championships are played on neutral field. So the Big 12 championship is played in Arlington, Texas. The SEC championship is played in the Georgia Dome. I don't know how neutral that is since Georgia is in the Georgia Dome, but whatever. And the ACC championship is played in Charlotte. I don't know how neutral that is since Virginia is in Charlotte. But the ACC championship game will be played at Carolina Stadium. So much for neutral site championship games. They're technically neutral sites, but y'all get the message. So I'll let you start us off with this one, brother. Who wins the ACC championship, Virginia or Duke?
First of all, how the hell is Duke in the conference championship game at 7-5? How is this possible?
I'm about to tell you. So Duke is 7-5, their overall record, but their conference record, they're 6-2. And they needed SMU to lose last weekend. By the way, SMU lost to California. California's quarterback, he's a freshman, bro. He's going to be a problem. I watched that game. He is a problem. Like, he is accurate as I don't know what. But that's another subject for another day. But SMU lost. So with SMU losing, that propelled Duke once they won their last game, because Duke beat Wake Forest on Saturday, 49-32. That propelled them to the ACC championship game.
Whew, ACC, let me tell you. So looking at this game, I'm going to go with Virginia, but I think it'll be a close game because, like you said, this isn't exactly a neutral site game. It's basically a home game for Duke. Let's call it what it is. And I don't know a ton about Duke. I'm not going to be honest with you, but I do know that their quarterback Mensa, 28 touchdowns and 4 interceptions this year, 34-50 passing yards. Very capable quarterback. I've seen Virginia skate by some games this season. I haven't really seen them have that convincing win where like I look at them and say, okay, I think they actually are a serious contender going forward. I've seen a lot of skating by. So I'm going to take Virginia cautiously, but it wouldn't shock me if Duke somehow pulled off the upset and somehow got to the college football playoff off of a narrow upset with UVA. So I'm going to take the points here. Looks like it's 3.5 Virginia. I'm going to go with UVA.
UVA? Okay. So you like UVA to beat Duke? That's a smart pick. I mean, it's nothing, it's a very, very smart pick. I'm not going to debate you on that. For me, let me say this. So this is the second time they met. Virginia defeated Duke at Duke 34-17. That was November the 15th. So that was a couple weeks ago where they played at Duke, and Virginia took advantage of that, and they defeated Duke in Durham. For me, we have not had chaos in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We get some chaos in this game. I like Duke to beat Virginia. I'm not picking Duke because I'm not a Duke football fan. I am not into that. I like Duke basketball. But the reason why I'm picking Duke, like you mentioned, Darian missing 28 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And I'm looking at the running back, Nate Shepard. He has almost 900 yards on the season, 9 touchdowns. I'm looking at Mensa, Shepard, and I'm looking at the wide receiver, Cooper Barquette. 63 catches, almost 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Duke just has to keep the game close. All the pressure is on Virginia. Let me repeat that again. All the pressure is on Virginia. All Duke has to do is keep the game close. No turnovers, play good defense. Duke's coach is Manny Diaz, a former defensive coordinator at your beloved alma mater, one of your beloved alma maters, Penn State. I think he can keep the game close, and I think Darian Mensa, the quarterback from Duke, can make a play or two, along with Cooper and the running back. Give me the Duke Blue Devils to shock the ACC and win the ACC championship and to defeat the Virginia Cavaliers. Go Blue Devils. Say it again.
That'd be something else. I probably would. You know how I feel about Duke, so I probably would like vomit a little bit, but at the same time, pretty good chaos and parity.
Yeah, well, listen, they don't have to vomit too much because guess what? If Duke made the playoffs, they would be. If they made the playoffs today at 12, they would be home by 3:30. So you ain't even got to worry about too much of seeing them that long. They ain't that great, but I just think they're great enough to stay with Virginia. And again, they got blown out at home, so they're gonna come out guns blazing. All the pressure is on Virginia. This is one of the conference games where ain't no pressure on BYU. Ain't no pressure on Texas Tech. I mean, it's pressure on BYU to win the game, yeah. But ain't no pressure on Georgia. Ain't no pressure on Alabama. Alabama already defeated Georgia. So if they lose, okay, they'll be the first, in my opinion, the first 3-loss team to make the college football playoff. In this game, there's no pressure on Indiana or Ohio State. They're in the playoff. This game, the pressure is solely on Virginia. And Virginia should win the game. They beat them before. BYU has pressure, but Texas Tech, to me, is a better team. Virginia is a better team than Duke. So Virginia, you better not be asleep at the wheel, man. Because Duke, they're gonna come to play. Should be a good ACC championship game. That game is Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Last game we're gonna preview: the Big Ten Championship. The best 2 teams in the country. The number 2 Indiana Hoosiers take on the number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes. This game is Saturday, 8 o'clock on Fox. Joel Klatt, Gus Johnson, Jenny Taft will be on the call. Ohio State and Indiana has not played this season. Ohio State and Indiana played last season. They played at Ohio State. Ohio State defeated them 38-15. That game was November the 23rd, 2024. So they basically played over a year against each other. Ohio State is favored in the game. They're favored by 4.5. The over-under is 48.5. Again, both teams come in at 12-0. I'll start us off, as I said before. I am going to take the Indiana Hoosiers to win the Big Ten Championship. I think the 2, as I mentioned earlier when we was talking about Diego Pavia, I think Diego Pavia, Julian Love will be they will be invited to New York. But I think the 2 leading candidates, Fernando Mendoza, Julian Sand. So we get to decide the Big Ten Championship, John. We get to decide the number 1 seed in the college football playoff, and we get to decide who's going to win the Heisman. I think Fernando Mendoza has been the best player all season, in my opinion. And with the Big Ten Championship game, again, I know it's supposed to be a neutral site. The Big Ten Championship game is in Indianapolis, Indiana. I like Indiana. Give me the Indiana Hoosiers to defeat the Ohio State Buckeyes on Saturday night.
Thinking about this game, I understand why you would pick Mendoza and the Hoosiers. They've had a phenomenal season. I think, honestly, they've been the more tested team throughout the year. It took out Oregon on the road, which I think was one of the best games of the year. So that was a real test me saying, okay, Indiana's actually, legit. As for Ohio State, outside of that Texas game, they have not really been tested, in my opinion. There has been no resistance, quite frankly. So looking at that can be a factor, I think, that goes in Indiana's favor, along with literally playing in Indianapolis, which is maybe a couple hours away from Bloomington. I think that would help a lot too. But with all that being said, I still think Ohio State is the better team. I still think that Ohio State is going to come away somehow with this victory. I think, again, the 2 best receivers in college football, Tate and Jeremiah Smith, I haven't seen any team do anything to really slow them down. So in Indiana, this is your moment. I want to buy into Indiana. I wanted to buy into Indiana last year, but something kept telling me where it's like, okay, these are the guys you got to beat to help me buy in. And the last time they played against Ohio State last year, we saw what happened. It was a thorough beatdown. And, to the point where Coach seemed a little butthurt going to their interview saying, like, we're still a playoff team and all that. But, like, you could tell he was hurt because it was embarrassment. you had a great season, then you play Ohio State and thoroughly get your ass kicked. And then you want to, reinforce the fact that you're a playoff team. So, okay, Indiana, here we are a year later. This is your moment. Are you going to step up and finally silence those critics and saying, hey, Indiana football is a real thing? Like, Indiana is no longer just a basketball school. We're a football school as well. Or Ohio State, flex their muscles again and little brother you. I think Ohio State will win. But if Indiana doesn't get little brothered, they compete in this game and it has to come down to the final moments of the fourth quarter, Indiana will still have my respect. I wouldn't disrespect them like I did last year.
Yeah, I think this is a different Indiana team. I think that experience last year at Notre Dame, losing at Ohio State, losing at Notre Dame in the first round of the playoffs, I think that has hardened this team. I think that's made this team better. And they went out and recruited what they needed to recruit. They got better in the trenches, offensive line and defensive line to be exact. So for me, Indiana, I'm picking Indiana. They might not win. Ohio State is the better team. But I think Indiana will show up and show out. And they will have that beatdown, 38-15 on their mind from last year, the last time they saw this team. So, again, you like Ohio State. I like Indiana. Should be a great conference championship week in college football. Ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy college football because it is slowly but surely wrapping down. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Highly Opinionated. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is brought to you by Edibly Airy. Enjoy the heightened experience of THC edibles in a whole new way. At Edibly Airy, our freeze-dry edibles available in 100 milligram, 200 milligram, 300 milligram, 400 milligram will give you the buzz you crave with a flavor you won't forget. Available in 3 different flavors: watermelon sunset, tropical fruit, and berry. To place orders, please visit the website at ediblyairy.com. While you're there at ediblyairy.com, use a promotion code. You guys see the promotion code on the screen. $ Highly Airy, $. Again, $ Highly Airy, $ for 20% off your first purchase. Follow us on IG at Edibly Airy for new product releases and monthly hookups. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Edibly Airy, the best freeze-dry edibles out. Go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. As you can see, we have a special guest on the screen. This man is a near and dear friend of me. God gave me an opportunity to work. I had to return the favor. He allowed me to work on his platform, so I gotta give him a chance to work on this platform. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Q to the show. What's up, Q? How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on? Look, I'm excited to be on the show. I appreciate y'all for having me out. Can I just say Highly Opinionated is a show that I respect, not only because I know you, but it's because like I watch what y'all be talking about, and I'm like, yeah, they understand. Like they understand how to do it. So I definitely fuck with the process. I like the process y'all got going on.
You good. I appreciate it. Hey Q, man, we greatly appreciate that. Me, Ross, Tim, JG, Dylan. It's not just a one-man show. These guys, the guys at the team that we all work together. I'm so grateful for the team that I work with. These guys are the best, and we all make it work. So thank you, man. We appreciate those kind words, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Q, under your name, you feel me? I see ESPA owner. What is ESPA?
Yeah, so ESPA is abbreviated for Executive Security Protective Assurance, and that is my security consultant company that me and 2 of my other homeboys were the owners of. So it's 3 of us in total, and we provide security for different clients, whether it's bars, whether it's private events. You know, if anybody needs security, they call us. More than likely, we're going to have somebody going to the spot, you know, because we're like a consultant agency. So just a little bit about it. ESPA has really been in effect for about a year now. So I started last year, but I've been in the security field for about 7 years now. And how it all started was that I was just essentially I was tired of you know, dealing with people and, you know, being on other people's schedules. And I felt like I had been doing security for so long that I could be having these same conversations with clients, you know, trying to figure things out. And I felt like I was situated to be able to do the scheduling and, you know, make the phone calls, you know, handle all that type of stuff. So that's how ESPA essentially got like kicked off.
That's good, man. I'm glad to see you, not only just you, but your 2 other business partners as well. Give those guys a shout out. What's their names?
I gotta shout out my guys, Chris, CJ, you know, that right-hand man for real. I go left, he go right. And then my other guy, Mojo, I gotta get him on the show because he a boxer, and I know that could be good for y'all for real. He an up and coming boxer too. So
Absolutely, absolutely, man. We
yeah,
love we love all,
I gotta shout
we love all athletes, man. We want them all, man. So we greatly appreciate it if you could
them
make that
out
happen.
because without them, it ain't no. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna definitely make that happen.
Appreciate it, brother. But yeah, no, you were saying about them. Go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off. What were you saying about them?
Oh, yeah. So I was saying essentially, with us three, it's like they keep me going, I keep them going. We sort of all just we push each other to keep, you feel me, going forward. We never forget what the mission is, and the mission is to always make sure business is handled. So we all just constantly pushing each other to continue to handle business, whether that's branching out, networking with different clients, or just holding down the spots that we have now and making sure the foundation that we set can be what's the word, can be transcended to anybody else that we have working at our spots.
So I've had the privilege of working for you, working for ESPA. Great company to work for. You never have to worry about pay. When you're sent to a job, you know what to do at the job. They're very detail oriented.
Hmm.
They're like I obviously I ask questions when I first got hired, but after that, once you start doing the job, very simple
It's
job.
simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
simple. Everyone knows what to do. Friendly environments for the most part. Come in, do your job,
Hmm.
go home. So I would recommend anyone that's looking for security detail, security guys, ESPA. They are the place for you guys. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're always looking, we're always, my thing is I'm always trying to give people opportunities to get some extra money because that's what it is, what it's all about at the end of the day. Like, we ain't doing it for fun. We're not doing it like I like security, but I didn't wake up and say, oh, I want to be the best security guard. It sort of just happened because of the work that I was putting in. So now I just find myself wanting to give other people the same opportunities that I wasn't getting essentially. Because when I was trying to do security, it was very tight. You couldn't find nothing except weekends. Like the only time people was looking for you was on a Friday and a Saturday because those are the busiest days. So now it's at a point where it's like now I have work 7 days a week if I want to, and I'm just trying to balance it out amongst my team as best as possible and just keep it going.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you guys came together as one, trying to make this, not trying to, but making the security dream a reality. So a shout out to you guys coming together as three brothers, making it happen. So congratulations, and I wish you guys nothing but success in the future with ESPA, man. Hopefully you guys, hopefully I can get a detail from ESPA one day, man. That'd be a great job.
Yeah, look.
That'd be a great thing for me to pay back to you guys, man. That'd be amazing.
You already know once the podcast take off the way it's going to take off, you already know who to call when you doing your traveling shows.
I
You
got you.
know,
I appreciate that. You're definitely right. I know who to call. Uh, while we have you, obviously it's a sports show, so we'll transition a little bit to sports while I have you. I know you're an Eagles fan, Q. Your Eagles started off hot.
oh man,
I know, man. They
yeah,
started off hot. Thought the NFC East was a wrap. Now, if you look at the NFC East, the Cowboys a game and a half out of first place. Eagles are 8-4. The Cowboys 6-5-1. Do you think the Eagles
mm.
hold on to the NFC East?
So yeah, me like just looking at the rest of the landscape and how everything's been playing out. I do think we can hold on to the NFC East. I'm very upset though because I wanted the number one seed because that number one seed with the bye and getting rest and healthy is very beneficial. But I don't think it's in our reach anymore. But I definitely see us holding the NFC East down because we don't play Dallas again. So essentially, all we got to do is just win. We got to win like our last 4 out of 5, and we good. You know, and we got some easy games coming up. Of course, it's the NFL, so you can't take anybody for doubt. But we do got some teams that they fighting for draft position. So we got the Raiders coming up. We got the Giants coming up. I believe. No, not the Giants. We got the Commanders coming up, and the Command. I'm gonna lie, the Commanders they're gonna be a little tricky. They're gonna definitely be a little tricky because my fault. Yeah, the Commanders they're gonna be a little tricky just because of Jay Daniels. He probably gonna be coming back, so I can see us going 1-1 with them. But we got the Raiders and we got the Chargers, and we those are like must-win games. So I see us holding down the NFC East.
Yeah, next week, Monday night, Eagles at Chargers. After that, you guys play the Commanders at what? No, I'm sorry. At the Chargers on Monday night, then you guys have a home game against the Raiders. At the Commanders, short week that following Saturday. Then at Buffalo, then y'all finish the season at home against the Commanders. So no, it's
Okay.
definitely some winnable games in there. I think you guys.
Yeah.
I think you got the two games that you guys might lose would be at the Chargers, and that's depending on Justin Herbert. We found out on Sunday that he broke his left hand. That's not his passing hand, but he broke his other hand. He's supposed to have surgery
Yeah, I
on that
heard
on
something.
Monday.
Yeah, I heard something
So
about surgery.
yeah, he's supposed to have surgery on Monday. And now he's in line to play next Monday. So I think, and he even said that he's going to play if he can play. So
Right.
I think that'll be a tough game, and I think at Buffalo will be a tough game. Those are two teams trying to fight to make the playoffs. But the Raiders and the two Commanders game, I think Philly will win. So I think Philly can hold on to the division, but I will say I do like how this Dallas team is playing. I think Dallas. I think the problem with Dallas is that loss. I know everyone wants to talk about the loss at home against Arizona before the trade deadline. I think the loss at Carolina early in the season when they lost 30-27, I think that's the loss that'll do them in because they're fighting with Carolina in a way. You get what I'm saying?
Carolina just won, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they did. They shocked the Rams. They beat the Rams at home. I think it was 31-28. So so I think the Cowboys, man, I think they really in that mode of competing with the Panthers. So I think that would be their if they don't make the playoffs, that'll be the loss that they look back on the worst and be like, damn, we should have, won the game. As far as go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh no, my apologies.
No, you good. I was getting back to your team. As far as your Eagles.
Yeah. So no, I was really keeping it within the division real quick. Because I respect the Cowboys. You know, the one thing about the Cowboys is they're the most delusional fan base out there. But this year, I will give that man Jerry Jones some credit because not only did he make a nice trade for Pickens, he snagged the number one receiver for a third-round pick. That's a steal. Then you go add two dogs to your D line. Like you ain't really lose nothing for it, you know. And then you essentially you created another Micah Parsons because once you put two dogs at your D tackle position, everybody on the edge is going to eat. You know, so I definitely respect Dallas or respect how Jerry been moving this year. He definitely made it a little challenging. It's not one of those cakewalk years. Like Dallas is really and can be a real problem just off of who they have on their team. You know, you could shift coverage one time to CeeDee Lamb, now you got Pickens on a one-on-one. Shift coverage to Pickens, now you got Lamb on a one-on-one. So it's really a lot to deal with when it comes to Dallas. And then if Dak wants to be on one of them type of MVP type games, it's going to be a problem. So, yeah, I'm definitely keeping an eye on them. You know, of course, I don't want them to make the playoffs by any means. So I need the Lions to come through, and I need them to lose to one of them bad teams they play last.
Yeah, me and JG will pick the Cowboys and the Lions game later on in the show, but yeah, I think that's one of the biggest games of the week. Because to me, that's a de facto elimination game. You feel me? Whoever loses that game, they probably out of it. And whoever wins, they still can hold on to their chance of trying to make the playoffs.
Right.
Let me ask you this. I know that you obviously an Eagles fan. Obviously, they're not playing well. We'll get to what changes they can make in a second. But as far as right now, who do you think is the best team in the NFC?
The NFC best team, like everybody was saying the Rams. I mean, if you just look at like the offense and the weapons, then you'd be like, all right, like the Rams for real, they can put it all together. Like I like Sean McVay. I feel like he a very versatile coach. Like he's in it to win it. You feel me? Like you see him. Essentially, he one of them good players coaches. So I definitely like the Rams, even though we did beat them. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I just feel like if the Eagles was just to get it together, we'd be the best team. But because we don't have it together yet, I'm not going to say we're the best team. I am going to give it to the Rams. And I do like the Bears a little bit. I ain't going to lie. I like the Bears a little bit now. I knew they were going to be a problem when their old coordinator from the Lions went to be a head coach. I said, oh, yeah, to turn up now because they already know how the Lions play. Now they taking it from them and the Chicago, and he about to turn Chicago up. And he done turned Chicago up. Like, so I definitely give it to the Rams right now, even though they did lose to Carolina. But I feel like that was the Matthew just had a bad turnover type of day.
Yeah.
But as far as like yeah, them and the Bears, those are the only two teams I'll put over us right now.
So I'll speak on. Yeah, I think the Rams just had one of the moments. I'm gonna give a shout out to my homeboy. I had him on the show. Shout out to my homeboy Kevin. He kept cool Kev. He came on earlier. This was last season. We was talking on Sunday, and he was like, "Hey, yo, the Panthers gonna beat the Rams." And I'm like, "Yo, no, they not. Like, no, they not. Like, no, they not." But he was like, "Yo, the Rams are due. The Rams are due. The Rams are due. They do." And I'm like, "All right." So when the game started, and you could see Carolina was gonna be in the game, I instantly called him. I'm like, "Bro, you on it? You got it. My bad. I got you. You on it. I gotta give you your credit." So I just felt like that was a bad spot for the Rams. Carolina got destroyed on Monday night. Everybody was going to say how bad Carolina was. The Rams had won like their last, 8-9 games?
Yeah, they was on a nice little win streak.
Yeah, nice little winning streak. So they were due for a loss. So that's definitely perfect logic. With the Bears, I'm going to give Ben, like you said, you made a great point about Ben Johnson. He knew the inner workings of Detroit. And that made what it did was it did two things for Detroit. I mean, it did two things for Detroit and two things for Chicago. For Chicago, it made Chicago better, made Detroit worse. For Detroit, it made a division rival better and made them come back down to the pack. So now when you come back down to the pack, now you're competing with the Green Bays, the Chicagos, and to a lesser extent Minnesota. So and you see that with Minnesota. Minnesota had a great season last year. Guess what they did? They regressed back down to the mean. So in the middle of who they are. So with that being said, I definitely agree with you about the Rams and Chicago. I'm gonna throw two teams in there. I gotta give my man some love. Shout out to my co-host Tim. I'm gonna throw Seattle in that conversation as the best team. And you gave him credit earlier. I gotta give credit as due. And I did say that I do think the loss at Carolina will hurt them. But I tweeted this, and I'm gonna stand on this. Next year, the Cowboys gonna be a contender. You can just see it already. You can see how they moving. You can just see it. But
now look,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I agree. If they keep George Pickens, if he want to go get that bag from another team, then that thing we talk about regressing, they gonna regress. But if he stay with Dallas, then they're gonna be a problem.
Let me ask you this about Pickens: would you franchise him?
I would.
Okay, I would too. I would too.
Yeah, I definitely would.
If I franchise you, then I can try to work. Now we got like a 21-day window or a month window where we can try to work out a deal. So I'm not letting you go. And then I get think about this. Q, you know this because your man does this well. Your man Howie Roseman. This is why I work with an Eagles fan every week. Y'all spoiled because y'all got the best general manager. He's going to find, bro. There could be a hailstorm. Howie Roseman's gonna find the gold in the hailstorm. Oh, he gonna find that. Believe that. It might. Everybody gonna have their ponchos on, their umbrellas on, but guess what? Howie out there, no ski mask, straight suit on. Got the one button open. You feel me? With his jacket on. Oh, I'm finding this gold, and he gonna find it. So, but you know this. He gave you trade the third round pick for what the Cowboys gave up is a lot. So you need to get your interest back on that value. So franchise them and then try to find a way to work out the deal.
Got to try to, the main thing they can sell is, that they're America's team. And when you're a part of the Cowboys, you get certain benefits that you might not get if you on a Carolina Panthers or a low-key team for real. Like you actually are put in that spotlight just because you're Dallas's team. And I think they're the most expensive team in the NFL, if I'm not mistaken.
If you look at all the game announcers, most of them are Cowboys. Troy Aikman on
Look,
ESPN, ABC,
Emmitt
Cowboys.
Smith,
Emmitt Smith,
Tony Romo,
CBS, Cowboy. Jason Garrett, NBC, Cowboy.
Witten. I think I've seen Jason Witten. Do he do it too? Jason
Yeah,
Witten?
he was doing it. He got out of it.
Okay.
Bro, think about this. He retired and got an ESPN Monday Night Football job. Why? He played for the Cowboys. That's the only reason why I got the job, literally. You feel me? So, and if you go at Fox, Daryl Johnson, he a game announcer. He played for the Cowboys. He was a fullback. So, yeah, putting that star in your head, that definitely can get you some benefits on and off the field for sure.
Right.
But yeah, I think the 4 best teams right now: Rams, Bears, Seattle, Philly obviously in that conversation. I think those five teams, I think those are probably the best teams. San Francisco will be in that conversation. They got too many injuries. And of course, everybody know I like my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I feel like they're just starting to get it back together on the offensive end. And their defense, to me, when they play a good team, a good quarterback can take advantage of that defense. So I think those 4 teams, I think those 4 or 5 teams, I think they're the best teams in the NFC. Getting back to your Eagles, how can we fix how can the Eagles fix their offense?
So it's not even hard, and I had these conversations with people all the time, whether it's family or friends, or it's people trolling because being in the Baltimore area, dealing with Baltimore fans, and then they know I'm an Eagles fan, they try to troll, but let them know like we don't have like hard thing to fix. We have a very simple thing, and it starts with Mr. Saquon Barkley. We get Saquon Barkley going, we get the run game going, everything else will open up. We've had one game this year where Saquon Barkley had over 100 yards. We are in what week right now, my good brother?
We are in week 13.
Week 13. And Saquon Barkley, if I'm not mistaken, has only had one game where he's rushed for over 100. And it was against his former team. The second time. Not the first time when they embarrassed us with Jackson Dart and the fullback. He was going crazy on us. He went off the second time. So we just haven't been getting him going the right way. The offense has been very bland, very just vanilla. Like the one thing I hate about a Super Bowl team, especially if you got changes and stuff going on. So in our case, we keep losing our old coordinators every year. We had Kellen Moore last year. The dude that's on the Colts, Shane Steichen, we had him. Yeah, like people they be taking our old coordinators, and it's like every year, Jalen Hurts having to switch up a system, switch up an offense, and then being the Super Bowl champs, everybody's gunning for you. So a lot of the stuff that we was doing last year, just thinking we could get past because of talent, ain't working. Because the talent is not, you feel me? They're not balling out the way they need to be balling out. So now we got to get back to schemes. They don't want to scheme. And that's where I get mad at my head coach because this is your job, So it starts with them getting Saquon going. If they get Saquon going, then we're gonna be good.
To emphasize,
because we gotta have a run game.
To emphasize your point on Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley has had 100-yard game, like you said. That was the second time against the Giants. His highest game after that, he had 150 yards on 14 carries against the Giants. His highest game after that was in week 2 at Kansas City. He had 88 yards on the ground. So obviously the value of what Saquon Barkley brought to the team last season, between obviously, wear and tear on him a little bit, but the offensive line not being the same offensive line, the Eagles are definitely in a tricky position as far as trying to establish that offensive line and trying to establish that run game. So now you're 100% right. They got to get Saquon Barkley more. Saquon Barkley has had one game over 100 yards. He's had 2 games over 80 yards rushing. Last year, the brother ran for 2,000 yards. So think about that. Put that in its proper perspective.
Come on now.
So
Saquon 2K was the name.
And let me say this. Last year, it was a big debate. Because, again, we're in Baltimore, you know that. It's a big debate about who won the MVP, right? Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. The real MVP was Saquon Barkley. That was the real MVP. They just wasn't going. They just didn't give it to a running back. But he was the real. He was the real. He was the real MVP.
Where you talking about Super Bowl?
No, I'm talking about during the regular season. Saquon was the real MVP during the regular season.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I feel like they would have gave it to him if we let him break the record.
Yep. They would have. But I'm saying that this is no disrespect to Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson.
For.
This is no disrespect to Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Great players, but
so go
running back damn near ran for 2,000 yards. So you feel me? Right. To me, I thought he was the best player on the Eagles offense, which propelled them to get to the Super Bowl. So got to get Saquon Barkley going. And to me, that offense, man, like you said, it's too bland. It's too bland. It's too bland. And like they really don't have no, they don't really have no variety in the offense. They run the same stuff. So. Let me ask you this.
That last part was breaking up. What you said?
No, I'm saying that. All right, so I was saying that their offense is pretty bland. You feel me? Whereas though, like they basically run the same concepts, they run the same formations. They don't have no variance in their offense, motion. They don't do anything. Now I will say when we seen them play the Bears on Black Friday, I did see them at the end of the game. They had a little bit of hurry up. You feel me? When they scored that last touchdown, that was on a hurry up type of offense. So I feel like they should do that a little bit more. You feel me? Because they got the playmakers. You got a good tight end. You got two good wide receivers. You got obviously a good running back, a solid to good offensive line, even though they're not the same offensive line as they were. So yeah, man, like let's show some variance. And I think that the Eagles can, and I think that they will. Before I get you up out of here, kid, who do you think will be playing in the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl. Okay. My Super Bowl predictions, I'm gonna just say from the AFC, the AFC looks like the AFC is a little tricky. Oh, my fault. The AFC is a little tricky right now. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like I was waiting on the the Colts, but now they're a little injury. They're a little injured, but it's a tough one. Of course, NFC, like I feel like when we get in that gauntlet, because we're going to be in the playoffs, I feel like we're going to run the table for real.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Eagles in the NFC, and then in the AFC, it's going to be, like, I'm not bound into the Denver hype, like, because I watched Denver last night almost lose to the Commanders, and yeah. So I ain't even buying into the Denver hype. I already know they're not going to do it. Kansas City, of course, you never bet against them, but they just got a long way to go. Like they got to really run the table.
Exactly.
Like they really got to run the table.
And you talk about some hard games, man. They got some hard games.
Look, I'm not going to lie to you. The Texans.
Yo.
That coach, them linebackers. Hold up. I'm like, hold on. Like, they not a joke. They are the truth. You feel me? CJ Stroud gonna do what he need to do. They got some weapons on offense. Run game a little iffy, but that defense, bro, is the truth. So I'm gonna go Texans early. I'm gonna get Texans. I'm gonna get them, get them a little boost of confidence because I like what I've been saying. Like they had coaches that, like he ain't playing. He got them boys coming out hitting.
I'm gonna say this. A month ago, I was on the phone with somebody, right? And they were saying, who did Tampa Bay beat, right? So at that point, Tampa Bay had beat the 49ers in Seattle. They beat Seattle in Seattle. And I said they had beat the Texans, and the Texans had a losing record at that time. So I know that person watches your show. So I'm gonna just say this: Tampa Bay beating the Texans. Is that a good win now? Kind of think it is. The Texans got the best. The Texans got the best.
Yeah.
On the road, the Texans. Let me say this: the Texans could find themselves in Santa Clara in the Super Bowl because what their motto is this: you're not going to score. We're going to stop you from scoring, and our offense just has to score enough. So whether that's 10 points, 17 points, that's good enough. That's the same thing Denver does. You feel me? The difference is you trust C.J. Stroud a little bit more than you trust Bo Nix because we've seen C.J. Stroud in the playoff moment. We've seen Bo Nix in one game blown out. I picked the Ravens to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not getting off that bandwagon. I ride with my picks, but I'm gonna say this. It's not looking good because that offense with the Ravens is still sketchy. It's scary to me. You feel me? They're not. That offense has impressed since came back.
It's too inconsistent. Like I feel like it's been too many times this season with the Ravens. Everybody, even if you're not a Ravens fan, you just a sports fan, or you are a sports analyst, or you some type of into sports, and you see who the Ravens got to play, and you like, oh, that's easy. That's a cakewalk for them. And then they go out there having tough games against the Jets, struggling in the first half against the Browns, getting embarrassed by the Texans. Now I don't think Lamar was there, but even still,
Lamar
didn't
play that game.
They still be having some type of pride when he not there. Like the defense was just really turning into dog food. So, and now even still, I look at this game against the Bengals. Everybody, all my Ravens friends, they turning up. Thanksgiving, Ravens play. Oh, we got the Bengals. They 3-8. Joe Burrow coming back. They not worried, but in my head, I'm like, Joe Burrow always does this to y'all. And yet, y'all were not prepared. And I'm just confused. Like, y'all going to the game, expectations be through the roof. And then they start playing, and it's like, what am I watching? Like, this don't look like the Baltimore Ravens. Like, this is not what I'm known. This is not what the Ravens are known for. Y'all turning it over. Y'all, you feel me, can't score. Defense, Marlon Humphreys, how many times you going to let Jamar Chase get behind you?
And this is the thing. No T. Higgins. So you're like,
no
bro,
T. Higgins, bro.
Like, yo,
oh
you listen. If Tinsley beat me, if Gesicki beat me, bro, I walk to their hand in the middle of the game. Good job, young man. You're a hell of a player. You deserve to win. I'm putting 4 people on Jamar Chase. 4. Like, bro, no, we not letting you beat us. Them other guys, fine. I'm putting 4 people on Chase. That means the other 7 defenders, you fend for your damn self. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't lose to one guy. Like, it's just
literally
one guy.
And it's like, you know what he wants to do with the one guy. He wants to throw that same fly route every time he's been throwing it to him since they've been at LSU.
You would think that, like they played together in college, they playing together in the NFL. Like, bro, they have the best chemistry probably of any wide receiver quarterback tandem in the league because they've been together so long. Yeah. You feel me? So let me say this. I'm gonna give Tim his credit. Tim, before we ended the show last week, he was like, man, watch out for them Bengals. And I'm like, and we both kind of like laughed at it because we both thought that Joe Burrow coming back first game would be a little bit trouble. And he did look rusty in the first half. But he got into form in the second half. And I know Joe Burrow doesn't have the best record against the Ravens. I know Lamar Jackson has a better head-to-head record. But to me, that just shows why if you put Lamar on a level playing field and Joe Burrow on a level playing field, and I know Ravens fans hate me for saying this, Joe Burrow is just a better player. Mm-hmm. He's just a better player. He's just a better quarterback. Yeah. Let me put it like this. He's a better quarterback. He's not a better player. Lamar can do more as a player. Joe Burrow's a better quarterback as far as getting the ball to where you want it to be. Like Lamar was missing high in that game. He was missing low in that game. Joe Burrow missed early in the first half, first quarter, second quarter, first half. After that, he got in the rhythm. He was making the throws he needed to make. So let me say this before I get you up out of here. Do you think there's any chance that the Cincinnati Bengals could win the AFC North?
Oh, man. Me being a fan of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase and company, Chase Brown, all them boys, I want them to. Like, I really want them to. It's too much wasted talent to not be in the playoffs. So I know it's going to be hard, though, because not only do they got to run the table, I think the Ravens got to lose like 3 and, something like that. But
Ravens and
realistically, I don't see the Ravens fumbling away the North because the Steelers keep fumbling away. So I just feel like the Ravens are going to be like, you know what? We got the AFC North. We're not going to go far in the playoffs, but we're going to win this AFC North. So I don't think the Bengals could do it this year, unfortunately. If Burrow could have came back like 2 games ago, I'd probably say something different. But because it's like not that much time left, it's like it's iffy.
The Bengals and the Cowboys in the same position. The Cowboys lost at Carolina. That loss will sting to them. That will hurt them. You know the loss that will hurt the Bengals? Not against Chicago when that loss against the Jets. When they was at home and they had that game won against the Jets.
Was that the Jets' first win?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Oh, yes. I remember that game,
yes,
boy.
So, yeah, the Jets were at that point in time was 1-7. The Jets scored 23 points in the fourth quarter. 23. So, yeah, man. And the score was 39-38. You feel me? So, yeah, I think that loss will come back to haunt the Bengals. But I will say, now that was against them. Now what works in their favor? The Ravens and the Steelers got hard schedules. The Ravens got to play the Packers. They got to play the Patriots, and they still got to play the Steelers twice. I don't expect them to sweep the Steelers. Maybe they will, but I don't expect them to sweep the Steelers. And then the Steelers got to play the Ravens twice. They got to play. I feel like they got to play somebody else. That's good. Hold on, let me pull up their schedule now. Oh, they got to play the Lions. So, and they play the Browns. The Browns defense, they play them at home, and the Browns defense could give the Steelers offense some trouble. So
the Browns defense is legit. Like, we got to give credit to the Browns defense. I'm hoping Myles Garrett break that sack record this year. Like,
yeah, I think he already got the defensive player of the year locked up. So the next best thing for him to get now is just the sack record. Yeah, he already had that locked. He's the best defensive player in the league by far. It's truly amazing watching him play. And then I'll say this, I do this with every guest. Can you imagine Myles Garrett on a playoff contending team?
Oh my gosh.
Like, yo, that's
what? Look, I thought we almost was gonna get
No. Myles Garrett on any other playoff team but the Eagles. No. Y'all already have enough. No. If Myles Garrett went to the Eagles, I'm done. Like, I'm done.
Yeah, look.
Tim will host the show. He will have the show. I'm out. I can't do it. No. Hell
that boy Howie would go from a GM to a wizard. We call him Wizard Howie at this point because I don't know how he pulling it off. To even get these type of conversations is like
it's crazy. Yo, Howie Roseman is the best GM in the game. If he traded for Myles Garrett, pardon my language, fuck GM, fuck ownership. He would be the president of the United States because at that point he can make anything happen. He can make Democrats and Republicans come together. He can make straight people and gays and the LGBTQ community. Let's all come together. Let's find a way to make it all work. If Howie Roseman found a way to get Myles Garrett, I'm out. I'm done. Forget a Democrat and a Republican candidate in 2028. Write in Howie Roseman. He has they let him go be the president, so he can't be the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, yo, that would be crazy.
Look. That would be like that'd be like his end game. Like, Howie, you did everything, and then you come around and do this. Yeah, no, you gotta retire. Sometimes you just gotta retire one time, and that'd be the one. But the thing with the Browns, they're a funny franchise because Myles wanted to get traded just to get traded to anybody last year, anybody that was contending last year, and instead of trading them. They go, get a man an offer he can't resist. Like, shit, I wouldn't be able to turn down $44 million either if I was on the Browns. Like, you giving me $44 million to lose? Sure, fine, what's that? Okay.
And I'm still going to get my sacks. I'm still going to show
them
the
best.
And I'm
still going to get my sacks. I'm still going to get my all-pros. Still going to be in the pro. I'm probably going to be one of the only Browns in the Pro Bowl,
Yeah,
So.
The only one. The only one. Only one. Now let's just 10 quarterbacks out and they let Shador be like the 15th alternate. That's the Shador the only Brown other than Myles Garrett that got some notoriety. The rest of them, you're like, all right, okay, they rookies or they they up and coming names. Nah, that's Browns, man.
That's another thing. Not because I'm not a Browns fan, but I am a Shador fan. I am a Myles Garrett fan. I don't know if Kevin Stefanski is the guy because. It's just like how he goes about his quarterbacks, or at least maybe Shador. It just seems like he's not all in. And when you're not all in, you're not really putting them in the best position to win or putting your team in the best position. Because I glanced at the score. I didn't watch the 49ers-Browns game, but I glanced at the score when it was like 8-7. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. I said, that's what's up, Shador. You know, they up only by 1, but hopefully, you know, they can keep it going. And then I looked back and it was like 20 something to 8. And I said, dang, I don't know what's going on over there, but I really just think that head coach is not it. Like, it's not it. I
Yeah,
don't understand. He's been
I said
coaching there
last
for a
week on
minute now.
I said last week on the show, you can tell Stefanski is not Shador Sanders is not Kevin Stefanski's that guy. You can see. All right, so listen, Baker Mayfield and Shador Sanders are similar as far as they believe in themselves. They're over. The confidence you can just see oozing out of it. You feel me? So at that point, you feel me? When you saw how he carried it with Baker Mayfield. So it was he was gonna carry it the same way with Shador. Kevin Stefanski
Right.
like his quarterback like Kirk Cousins. Yes, sir. Let's come and say the right thing. Let's get about it. Whereas though you got different types of quarterbacks. You got your Baker Mayfields, you got your Shador Sanders, and then you got your Kirk Cousins. You feel me? It's different ways to skin a cat. So there's different ways, there's different ways to get to it, to the same destination. So I'm not a big Kevin Stefanski fan. I think everyone knows that. So I hope Shador gets with a coach that actually embraces him. You feel me?
Right.
Like really wants him to do well. And I think, you feel me, he can do well. Some of the teams that missed out on Shador, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're regretting that now. You feel me? Because
You just look at it right now.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like you watch the Raiders with Geno, it's bad. And then the Steelers, I have the ultimate respect for Aaron Rodgers. I have so much respect that I picked them last year with the Jets to go to the Super Bowl. And I saw my own 2 eyes. No disrespect. His better days are behind him. And that's all good.
Yeah.
He's 40 years old. So, yeah, man, those teams could definitely use a quarterback. And they're definitely missing out on the fact they didn't get Shador in that draft.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Like the Raiders, they went and paid Geno all that money because of what? I don't know. And then the Steelers, like I said, I love A-Rod to death. Respect everything he's done. But after the stint with the Jets and knowing he's getting up there in age, I still would have drafted Shador to sit behind him.
Yes.
Why do the Steelers still have Mason Rudolph on that team? Like he the future or something. Like at this point, you feel me? Like they was chanting. I heard they was chanting "Fire Tomlin." Did you hear about that?
I saw that. Please, folks in Pittsburgh, y'all have been spoiled. Kind of like the Eagles. The Eagles now at halftime, the fans boo them at halftime. They just won the Super Bowl last year. Fans are spoiled. Let me tell you this. You fire Mike Tomlin if you want to. Mike Tomlin be fired at 5:55. He'll have a job at 6 o'clock.
6
You
o'clock.
better not play with that, man. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
Nah,
don't play with
facts.
Joe. Like, come on, man. Like,
Facts.
the Steelers are a flawed offense. The Steelers are a flawed team. The defense hasn't lived up to their expectations in the offense. I get my co-host all the time, Tim. He doesn't like Arthur Smith. That's fine. Their offense is not good. They have one player on their offense that you got to somewhat look out for, and he only likes to really run 1 or 2 routes, in cuts or go deep, and that's DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
You take him out the game, it's fire move, it's Darnell Washington, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilk, bro. They no disrespect, they're NFL players, so I respect them. But they don't put no fear in the defense.
They're not game changers. Like they're NFL players, but they're not
changers.
game changers. They're not moving the sticks. Like
Exactly.
Kenneth Gainwell, that's my guy. I see they've been trying to get him a little. They've been trying to get him a little acclimated, but I don't think it's consistent. Like because I looked and he ain't really do too much the other day.
And then think about it. Think about it when he was on your team. He was like the 5th or 6th option. He's their second best receiver. Right behind Metcalf, he's or let's say the 3rd best receiver behind Pat Freiermuth. So yeah, man, like come on, man, like yeah, the Steelers are just a flawed team. So they can fire Mike Tomlin all they want to. Mike Tomlin will have a job and will have any job other than probably the Chiefs. I put it like this: let the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin. The Eagles will hire Mike Tomlin yesterday. They will hire Mike Tomlin. They will fire Howie. Not Howie. They will fire Nick Sirianni. And make Mike Tomlin a coach right now. Right now.
Yeah.
Only 2 teams that wouldn't do that would be Kansas City and Baltimore. Baltimore wouldn't do that to Harbaugh because of the rivalry. And Kansas City,
they're not letting Andy go.
Yeah, they're not letting Andy go. Every other team,
everybody else, what for sure? What Mike Tomlin? Hell yeah! So he can come in and because he's a great coach. He's definitely a great coach. It's just the situations he's been in. It's been some unfortunate situations. Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. You know that was supposed to be a Super Bowl team. you
Yes.
know, and they sort of
Killed
haven't
Eagles.
recovered from that.
No, yeah.
Even with the George Pickens, they prematurely let him go to the Cowboys. It's no reason y'all should have let that man Pickens go. And
Yeah.
for a third round pick at that, now that man is a top 3 receiver. Like, mm-mm. That was supposed to be a 1-2 combo, him and DK. They were supposed to try to overcome, and I think they would have been good. Like, I think A-Rod would have been able to get the ball to Pickens for real. Like, because Pickens
Yeah.
he's not a 2-route guy. He gonna run his routes, and he also gonna be physical. Like, he ain't gonna make it hard. I know I'm stronger than you. I know I can jump higher than you. I know I'm gonna get the ball. Like,
Absolutely.
Pickens play the way you want DK to play, which is weird.
Yeah. Like Pickens gonna attack the ball. DK, like he'll attack, but
Like,
he don't attack like as good as George Pickens does. I
he
agree with that.
don't go up, bro. DK got a Megatron frame, but don't play like it. Like, he literally reminded me of like some Megatron type shit. Yo, jumping up high as shit. It's like, bro, you literally can just bully everybody. Like,
Yeah,
it's simple. Too, it's simple with DK, but he don't really, to my knowledge, he doesn't put that work in besides, a slant and a go route for real. Like,
yeah.
and
He
people not even
he had
they
two,
not
three routes.
fear they not scared of the muscles. Like, everybody got muscles. Everybody's strong in the NFL. So
Exactly. And when you're a corner playing him, you know you got help on certain routes. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna play for the slant. Okay, cool. If you're not gonna beat 2 of us deep, you might beat me deep, but you're not gonna beat the help that I got over top of me deep. So no,
right.
I think DK is like a 2 or 3 route wide receiver. If you take those routes away, then yeah, you kind of minimize what he is. You feel me? And he also, again, going
Mm,
back to the part about Pickens, what Pickens would have did was allow the number 1 corner would have had to choose. Do I got Pickens or do I got DK? Now, when you play the Steelers, you automatically are going to play DK Metcalf. So the number 1 corner is automatically going to stick him no matter who's on the field because he's the best receiver that they have. So Q, I want to appreciate you for coming on, bro. Appreciate this good ball talk, man. Again,
oh, for
ESPA.
sure.
Yeah, ESPA. If you guys need security details in Maryland, ESPA is the company for you. Guys offer great services, offer great rates. It's gonna do you right when you need security, man. So, Q,
Yeah,
shout
and
out to
we
you.
we we don't discriminate. We do it all. Whether it's parties, whether it's events, anniversaries, weddings, funerals, we do it all. Private escort service. We're gonna get the private escort service jumping in 2026. We got the black trucks for special events. Anybody need a black truck? We offer that as well. And yeah, if you got anybody with an establishment that know they having some hard times, the one thing that I'll say, me not being from Baltimore, it makes it easy for me to work in different spots without feeling like, oh, well, this is, how you could be from Baltimore and you think like, oh, well, I heard about this spot, I heard about that spot. I'm not from Baltimore, so I just know work and I know business and I know how to do business and I know how to handle my work. So I don't even look at it like, oh, this spot too scary, that spot. Whenever my team comes to a spot, we change the landscape, we change the foundation, we change the flow of everything. I mean, we don't we're not even like some big aggressive people. We're just some real down to earth social people. We know how to address situations without getting physical right away. But if we got to get physical, we will. So. Anybody needs security, feel free to reach out to my guy Josh, or they can follow my business page, ESPA, on Instagram. So we
We
can
will
go from there.
we gonna have your business page on the show. We'll actually have it in the link as well for people to follow, brother. So they'll definitely be able to
Okay.
follow. If you guys need security, you'll be able to see that. You'll see it right there on your screen. To follow him on that page, and also we'll have it in the link on the YouTube page as well. Q, you are
Okay.
the best, brother. I want to thank you for coming on. Can't wait to have you back on soon. Hopefully, the
Yes,
Eagles get it
sir.
turned around, get things right. Look forward to
Yeah, we
talking
got
to you soon, my brother.
had some more conversations in the playoffs, hopefully.
Absolutely, man. They get to the playoffs, bro. You got a seat. You got a seat right here, and I'll make sure my Eagles co-host is here to join us that time.
Yes, man. Got to get my Eagles guy out there. I thought he was going to be here today, but tell him you already know we flying high. We doing what we got to do. You
Absolutely, man.
know, and appreciate you for having me out as well. Appreciate the show. Highly opinionated. It's only going up from here. It's only going to continue to go up because we got the hardest working team in the building right now. So shout out to y'all. Keep doing what y'all do, fellas, because we definitely appreciate it. It's
Q,
not easy to find real, authentic sports shows anymore. So I miss that real authenticness, and that's what y'all provide.
we appreciate that, brother. We appreciate that. Q, one, thank you for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break here on Highly Opinionated. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is sponsored by Wolves of War. In some of the episodes, you can see my co-host and Ross wearing a brand called Wolves of War. Wolves of War is our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, and we are so thankful to have those guys sponsoring Highly Opinionated. Thank you very much. The actual meaning of Wolves of War is that it represents having a strong path behind you through the battles of life. With the right people behind you, you can get through anything. You guys see the link for Wolves of War? Make sure you guys click on the link, shop, great apparels, t-shirts, sweatsuits, whatever you want, they have. Once again, Wolves of War. Make sure you guys go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. JG, Week 13 NFL recap. Let's start with the the first game on Thanksgiving schedule was the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. The Packers went into Detroit and beat the Lions 31-24. Jordan Love, 18-30, 234 yards, 4 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, 17 carries, 83 yards. Dontavian Wicks, 6 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Christian Watson added 4 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. Detroit was led by Jared Goff, 20-26, 256 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, 20 carries, 68 yards. Jameson Williams, 7 catches, 144 yards, and 1 touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown got injured in the first half of the game. He missed the rest of the game. It's going to be out a few weeks with the injury that he suffered. I think he suffered a sprained knee or sprained leg or something like that. Messed up his leg. So he'll be out for a while. Be out for a few weeks. JG, your thoughts on the Packers defeating the Lions on Thanksgiving, improving that record to 8-3 and dropping the Detroit Lions. I'm sorry. The Packers improved that record to 8-3-1. The Lions fall to 7-5.
Yeah, real quick on Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's actually pushing to play for Thursday. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it, but he's trying to push through that ankle injury he had. Jordan Love. This is what we get with Jordan Love. At times, he looks phenomenal, like one of the most talented quarterbacks, and not the most talented quarterback in the league right now. And then there's times where he looks like you're scratching your head, like, what are you doing? It's just been the roller coaster of Jordan Love throughout the season. He's literally the key to the Packers going to the Super Bowl or going home in the first round. That's how good I think Jordan Love is with this team and how they're set up. But is the consistency going to stay there? What I've seen is that it probably won't. I'd like to be wrong here, but this is one of those games where Jordan Love shows that he's one of the best in the game. I mean, he looked totally in control this entire game. Packers offensive line did a great job on Aiden Hudson and this Detroit pass rush. Love was very comfortable for most of the game. The running game helped a lot with Josh Jacobs. Wicks showed up. Watson showed up. They've got, as we know, Green Bay's got a plethora of young receivers, led by Romeo Dobbs. But you throw in Watson, you throw in Wicks, you throw in Musgrave, Melton. There's a bunch of guys for Jordan Love to throw the ball to. But it comes down to him. Is he going to be – which Jordan Love are we going to see going forward? Are we going to see the one on Thanksgiving? Are we going to see the one against the Philadelphia Eagles? That's to me, that's the story of the Packers season right there. As for the Lions, real quick for the Lions, I thought Jared Goff looked very uncomfortable. Green Bay's defense showed up. Michael Parsons had an effect. Made Jared Goff, who's not a mobile quarterback, at times become a little bit, inaccurate, rushing some of his throws. Not having St. Brown there obviously hurts a lot, but Jameson Williams stepped up. I don't know why they don't use him more. Like, Jameson Williams has been like the ultimate flip of the coin. One week he does this with 144 yards. The next week we'll have 2 yards. I'm not sure what happens there with that offense. They really, contained Jahmyr Gibbs as well as anybody in the NFL does. And they've done that consistently. For whatever reason, when Gibbs goes against the Green Bay Packers, he does not have his best games. It took him 20 carries to get to 80+ yards. So that's something to pay attention to if the Lions were to make the playoffs and have to deal with the Packers again. Detroit Lions, though, they're in a precarious situation where they have to win. I don't think they can afford too many more losses. And in fact, I don't think they can afford one more loss to possibly be on the outside looking in for the playoffs. So Detroit is in desperation mode from this point forward. They've got to win if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive.
I agree with you on the Packers. I'll be short and brief. I agree with you on the Packers. The Packers' success rides on Jordan Love. We know what the Packers defense is going to do. The Packers' success will rise on Jordan Love and the wide receivers. Wide receivers catch the ball. Jordan Love put the ball where it needs to be. If they do that and they can run the ball, the Green Bay Packers will be what everyone thinks they are, which is a Super Bowl contender. The Detroit Lions, I agree with almost everything that you said. I'm going to take it a step further. They missed the creativity of Ben Johnson. You see what Ben Johnson is doing in Chicago. He's giving up hope. He's giving Caleb Williams the confidence. He's instilling an offense that Caleb Williams can do. He installs some trick plays, whereas though it takes the pressure off the quarterback. And trick plays are fun for the offense to run. You feel me? Like, all right, let's do something a little outside the box where, okay, the running back maybe can throw the ball, the receiver can throw the ball, the running back can do different things, type, etc. Something different, whatever. So the Detroit Lions, they missed Ben Johnson. And that was shown on Thanksgiving. The creativity, Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams, they're so electric. You can find different ways to get them the ball. Dan Campbell took over offensive play duties from Johnny Morton. So that tells you they have problems with their offense. You're not replacing a good offensive coordinator for nothing. The Patriots are not replacing Josh McDaniels. They like the way that he's running the offense. You see what I'm saying? So for me, they missed Ben Johnson, and that was on full-blown Thanksgiving. Like you said, Detroit is in a precarious situation. They damn near got to win out just to make the playoffs. Their next game against Dallas, which we're going to get to in a few, one of the biggest games this week coming up in the NFL. The next game that we're going to recap is the Kansas City Chiefs. And how about them Cowboys? The Dallas Cowboys defeated the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28. Kansas City was led by quarterback Patrick Mahomes, 23 of 34, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, 14 carries, 58 yards. Rashee Rice, 8 catches, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dak Prescott, 27 of 39, 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. Javonte Williams, 17 carries, 59 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches, 112 yards. George Pickens, 6 catches, 88. George Pickens, 6 catches, 88 yards. By the way, CeeDee Lamb, 7 catches, 112 yards, and 1 touchdown. I did mention the touchdown before. The Cowboys improved their record to 6-5-1. They dropped the Chiefs to 6-6. I'll start us off in a recap of this. Very simply. Tim, I give you a hard time, brother, when you get picks wrong. Tim was the only person when the season started. When we did the preview show, week 48. I'm sorry, episode 48. We did the preview show. And we all had some crazy takes on there. Matthew Stafford and the Rams was going to be the biggest challenger to the Eagles, even though that wasn't crazy, but you said that. You probably are right about that. Tim said that when Tim said that the Chiefs wasn't going to make the playoffs, me and you looked at each other like, bro, what? Like, are you serious? The Chiefs, bro, they're not making the playoffs. The rest of they have to play the Broncos, they have to play the Chargers, they got to play the Texans this weekend. And that Texans defense, is something else. So I think the schedule, the loss of talent has really made the gap closer with the Chiefs and the rest of the NFL. And all these other teams are getting better. You feel me? Like all the Chiefs have been kicking their ass for years. So the Broncos, the Chargers, the Patriots, the Ravens, the Bills, they all want to, get their shot. So I think the Chiefs are definitely in trouble to make the playoffs. Now to the Cowboys. If the Dallas Cowboys make the playoffs, you don't want to see them. Because they provide two things that become trouble. They provide a multitude of things that's trouble. They have a young and up-and-coming offensive line, so they can run the ball. They have 2 wide receivers that you can't play one-on-one coverage with because you don't have the corners to match up with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. They have a good tight end with Jake Ferguson. And let me say this, as our guest on the show, Quan did. We got to give some credit to Jerry Jones. We maligned Jerry Jones earlier in the year. Why would you trade your best player? The man went out and got two run stoppers. 2 run stoppers and 2 guys who can get after the quarterback, and Kenny Clark and Quentin Williams. They went out and traded for Logan Wilson, and they got Overshawn back along with the two safeties, Malik Hooker and I forgot the others. Dorian Wilson. Thank you, bro. So Jerry Jones has improved this defense. If the Cowboys make the playoffs, you do not want to see them. And let me just my last thing before I let you go. I'm gonna say this to you because remember I texted you. I had something to say. I told you I was gonna say it to you. So a couple weeks ago, bro, I'm gonna watch the Club JG podcast this week, right? Hopefully you do one of them videos on the Eagles like you did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All the Buccaneers had a division wrapped up, and now all of a sudden the Carolina Panthers are here. Hopefully you do that for the Cowboys because the Cowboys got a better chance of winning the NFC East than the Carolina Panthers do of winning the NFC South.
Okay. All right. So I'll start with the Chiefs. I'll say like when the game first started and Dak Prescott threw that first interception, I think literally on the first drive I was like, okay, here we go, routes on. Because then Kansas City went ahead and scored a touchdown. I was like, it's gonna be a long day for the Cowboys once again. But this year has been a different culture, a different feeling with this Dallas Cowboys team, and a lot of it. I think it was just emotion, rallying from the loss of Marshawn Kneeland, their teammate, who unfortunately, took his own life earlier this year. I think obviously you want better circumstances, but I feel like that brought this team closer together, and they're really rallying from that. I think I feel a different energy when I watch the Dallas Cowboys than I used to. When I watch the Cowboys, you feel this, kind of like this bully to like to stick their chest out, think like, well, we're the Dallas Cowboys, we're better than everyone. Even when we suck, they're going to talk about us anyway because we the Dallas Cowboys. This is a hungry team that wants to play physical and they fight. Like I said, I was impressed with how they responded after that interception. Because in the past, when I see stuff like that from Dak Prescott, the team just starts to deflate. Where it's like, all right, this isn't our night. No. But he went toe to toe with Mahomes, and this defense got stops when it was time to get stops. Now they're still not a great defense, but they have been doing better than they were earlier this season. Quentin Williams, as anybody could expect, is having an immediate impact, especially on his run defense. Overshown to me is the key because he is the guy that is replacing Michael Parsons. And now when you add a Kenny Clark and a Quentin Williams, guys that can not only stop the run but can also put pressure on the quarterback, makes the pass rusher's job even easier. So if Overshown continues to play, who I think he's capable of being really good, that changes a lot of things. Now all of a sudden you got a semblance of a defense. And then don't let me get to the offense. But outside of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, who are you more scared of as a wide receiver duo in the NFL? More than CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens? No one. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I don't know why you did this. Why would you trade George Pickens when you have DK Metcalf? Aaron Rodgers could have had these two guys. But you decided to trade them because, I don't know, George Pickens can be a hothead. In the past, we've known Pittsburgh to have some hothead receivers. Antonio Brown, Martavius Bryant, go down the list, whatever you want. But the guy can play. He's really good. And so when he went to the Dallas Cowboys, I was like, oh, hold on a second. This could really be something because we know about CeeDee Lamb. And honestly, we knew about George Pickens. But the problem was it was poor quarterback play in Pittsburgh. George Pickens had Kenny Pickett. He had Mitchell Trubisky. He had an aged out Russell Wilson. And then he had Justin Fields. How many wide receivers are going to do that well?
Yeah, it wasn't going to work.
You're not going to – Dak Prescott is the best quarterback that George Pickens has had in his career. Think about that.
And that's including college. That's including college.
Including college. It's not even close. So here's what happens when you give George Pickens a very competent quarterback in Dak Prescott. And look, I said this on Club JG. We laugh and joke about Dak Prescott and the Cowboys all the time. When this guy's out there and he's healthy, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league. This guy puts up his numbers consistently. He gets the job done at the quarterback position. It's just we want to see more of that as in meaningful games and more so in the playoffs, especially with his Cowboys history. You want to see it more so in the playoffs. That's why he's playing really good football when he's healthy. And now you're telling me that you got George Pickens with CeeDee Lamb. You can run the ball well with Javonte Williams. You got Jake Ferguson at tight end. And your defense is all of a sudden just not being the worst. Yeah. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you're feeling a little bit of pressure right now, especially with the performance you've given in the past couple of games. Now, do I think the Cowboys can take the NFC East away from the Philadelphia Eagles? I got to see it to believe it. I don't think it's going to happen. Could they make it interesting? Sure. Cowboys can't lose no more. I know that much. But you know who else can't lose no more? Kansas City. They cannot lose another game. If they lose this Sunday to the Houston Texans, it is over. They will not make the playoffs. It is a done conclusion. Because you talk about now, I disagree with the talent not being the same with Kansas City. On paper, they're just as talented, if not more talented than the team they had last year. The difference is the AFC West caught up. The Chargers got better. The Broncos got better. Bo Nix and the Broncos. Now, say what you want about Bo Nix and his offense. Denver's defense is one of the best in the league. They're absolutely suffocating. And Bo Nix is a guy that is not going to make too many critical mistakes that'll put your team in a bad spot. Like I haven't really seen him put his defense on short fields and in bad positions too often this season. So you got that going on with the Broncos. Sean Payton, obviously a Hall of Fame coach. And now you got Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh on the rise as well. Kansas City, you can't lose anymore. You have to figure out how to go through this what I think is a gauntlet of the last 5 or 6 games to make it to the playoffs. And I got to tell you, shout out to Tim. I thought you were absolutely ridiculous for making this take. Even though I knew that the AFC West was going to be better than what it was last year, nobody saw this except you, my friend. So I'll give you credit for that.
Yeah, Tim, bro, we love you. We miss you. Can't wait to have you back next week. You deserve all flowers for this. Can't wait to see you next week. Let me just say these 5 games of who they play left, bro. They play the Texans. I think the Texans have the best or the second best defense in the league between them and the Browns.
Best.
Okay, you think their defense is better than the Browns? Okay, that's fine. Okay. Then they play the Chargers. They could lose that game. So they can lose to the Texans. They can lose to the Chargers. They play at Tennessee. No disrespect. That's a bye week. They'll win that game. Then they play the Broncos. Now think about it. The Broncos could be like, man, listen, we want to end your season. You feel me? We want to put you out your misery. So the Broncos are going to play that game. And guess what? The Broncos have to play that game because if the Patriots keep winning, they're going to have the same record. So the Broncos are going to have to win out. They want the number 1 seed. And then they play the Raiders. Bro, they have 5 games left. They could be 2-3 with beating the Raiders and beating the Titans. They could lose to the Broncos, even though it's at home. Their 3 hardest games are at home. Home against the Texans, home against the Chargers, home against the Broncos. So that bodes well for them being home. But, bro, again, give Tim his credit, but I don't think the Chiefs going to make the playoffs. And think about, even if they do they're chasing. Look at the teams they're chasing. The only team in the wild card that they beat was the Colts. And we're going to get to the Colts game in a second. I know people want to get on me for the Colts. The Colts might fall out the playoffs. And we'll get to that in a second. They might fall out the playoffs. Well, I'll tell you that schedule in a second. So the Chiefs the one team that the Chiefs had the tiebreaker over, they might not even be, they might not even be in the playoff hunt. They lost to Jacksonville. They lost to Buffalo. And I'm not counting the AFC North because the AFC North is only getting one team, either Baltimore, Pittsburgh, or Cincinnati. So at the end of which, by the way, it's crazy to say a 4-8 team has a chance of winning the division, but they have a chance of winning the division. So they might not, but let me say this. If we can get to this, they have a chance of winning. In fact, I'll give one of my takeaways away. One of my takeaways is on the AFC North. So, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that momentarily. But yeah, man, the Chiefs, they're in trouble, man. They are not going to make the playoffs. Those 3 tough games, they're not winning all 3 of them. They're not winning all 3 of those games. The Chargers got to find a way to get in. The Broncos want the number 1 seed, and the Texans trying to get to the playoffs. So yeah, man, Chiefs dropped a 6-6 heartbreaking loss for them.
And think about how different this Chiefs team could be if they don't make the playoffs. I think Travis Kelce is going to retire.
Oh yeah,
they're going to look very different. Who's the guy that's going to step up in that tight end position to be that security blanket for Patrick Mahomes going forward?
They either going to have to draft him or have to trade him. I mean, let me say this, and I don't like to do speculation in the middle of the season. If I'm the Chiefs, I would be interested in Kyle Pitts. He didn't work out in Atlanta. Change the scenery with Mahomes. Mahomes can get the best out of Kyle Pitts, and you can get him on a cheap deal. And then once he works his way up, then you pay him whatever you want to pay him. But I think Kyle Pitts will be wonders because he's going to be I don't think Atlanta's going to resign him. So, and Atlanta been making mistakes for the past couple seasons. I don't necessarily say that's a mistake to let him go, but at the same time, I don't think they're going to value him as highly as they did try to draft him. I think he could be a replacement for Travis Kelce. But again, as far as this season, the Chiefs in trouble. They are in some serious trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, the last game we're going to recap, I mentioned it. My guy, Daniel Jones, The Indianapolis Colts, they lost another close, tough game at home. They lost to the Houston Texans 20-16. Houston Texans were led by quarterback C.J. Stroud. He returned 22 of 35, 276 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Woody Marks, 19 carries, 64 yards. Nick Chubb, 9 carries, 34 yards, 1 touchdown. Nico Collins, he had 5 catches, 98 yards. He had a 7-yard touchdown run. The Colts, Daniel Jones, 14 of 27, 201 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries, 85 yards. Alec Pierce, 4 catches, 78 yards, and 1 touchdown for the Colts. Your thoughts on the Houston Texans making the AFC South now with 3-team race with the 8-4 Jacksonville Jaguars, the 8-4 Indianapolis Colts, and the 7-5 Houston Texans?
Well, I want to start with Houston here. The Houston defense is, I think, the best in the league. You talk about all 3 levels suffocating. Derek Stingley Jr., your linebackers, and then Will Anderson and the Neil Hunter. Good luck. I mean, this defense, we saw what they did to Josh Allen. They made him look regular. So it didn't shock me that they gave Daniel Jones fits. Now, in fairness, Daniel Jones is playing with some broken bones in his fibula. I will acknowledge that. That is a legit thing because it severely compromises your athleticism, which Daniel Jones' game is predicated on. The athleticism and the ability to run. That is an issue. But earlier this season, when the Colts lost that game at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I gave a take about the Colts. A lot of people got on me about you're being too hard on Daniel Jones or you're just waiting for Daniel Jones to fail, all this stuff. And you know what I said? No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you all the truth because of what I see and why I couldn't buy into it. The answer is Jonathan Taylor. When Jonathan Taylor does not run for 100 yards, what happens? They can't win. So all this stuff about Daniel Jones, MVP, comeback player of the year, all this stuff. He's in a better system with better coaching, better offensive line, better defense. Yeah, it looks good on paper, but if Jonathan Taylor doesn't have a good game, you know what happens? Ball gets put in Daniel Jones' hands. He's got to make throws. Couldn't do it against Pittsburgh. 5 turnovers. By Daniel Jones alone, 5 turnovers. Then we get to the Kansas City game. When it was time to make throws, ball was in Daniel Jones' hands. Couldn't do it. Again, Jonathan Taylor contained under 100 yards.
Yep.
Once again, Houston Texans, Jonathan Taylor, 85 yards.
Contained.
Daniel Jones only 14 to 27. Do we not see a pattern here? What do coaches always want to talk about? It's a copycat league.
Yes, it is.
So if you see one team do that to Jonathan Taylor and see how Daniel Jones looks, they're going to get that film and be like, wait a second, I see something here. I think we should sell out on Jonathan Taylor and make Daniel Jones beat us because you know what? He's still Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
That's the end of the day. And so far, it ain't looking good for the Colts. I got to tell you, bro, because not only have you already relinquished your division lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who the Colts will see next week. That's a huge game.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if Indiana's going to hold on to a playoff spot if they keep going in this direction.
I don't either.
I think we could see a giant collapse because every team from now on is going to load the box and stop Jonathan Taylor and dare Daniel Jones to win them a game. So far, can you believe in that? I don't know. I'm sorry. I think when Jonathan Taylor gets contained, we start seeing the old Daniel Jones come out. Now he's not turning the ball over as much as he was in New York. I'll give him that credit.
Yeah,
but when it's time to make the throws and make the plays, we ain't even seeing it. And now you're telling me that Daniel Jones has broken bones in his leg, his fibula? That ain't looking too good. Who you gonna roll out there? Anthony Richardson, Riley Leonard.
I can't do that.
You want to do that?
You're stuck with Daniel Jones being a quarterback. Let me make this joke. You look kind of pleasantly happy that Daniel Jones is coming back now.
No, I'm not happy. It's just that I just found it funny that like a lot of people were really coming at me saying that I was so wrong about Daniel Jones and that I didn't know what I was talking about. And I was like, well, let me just sit back and wait.
So, let me ask you this: you don't think he's gonna win comeback player of the year?
No, he probably will. Yeah, Daniel Jones had a pretty solid season.
Yeah,
I think he's played well enough in the first half of the season to earn Comeback Player of the Year honors. You know, it wouldn't shock me if he won that, but I never bought into it, and people thought I was crazy because of what I was seeing. I'm like, look, they're playing great, they're doing well in the first half, but let's see what happens when they go up against a Pittsburgh Steelers, a Kansas City Chiefs, a Houston Texans. Because the teams they beat before, all right, you beat Tennessee twice. Congratulations. You beat rookie quarterback Cam Ward and a bag of chips. Congratulations. You beat. I'm gonna pull up the schedule right here, just, to see their first half of the schedule. Let's see what they got.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. So they beat the Dolphins. Okay, Dolphins are playing better.
Yeah, but when they beat them, they were a dumpster fire.
Yeah, they were a dumpster fire, and I thought they would do a whole fire sale. They ended up not doing it. Beat the Broncos. I was a little shaky. The end of that game was a little controversial, but
it was a 60-yard field goal. He missed it. Then they had a leverage call. He made a 45-yard goal. That's how they beat the Broncos.
Yeah, I've never seen that call in my life. We haven't seen it since.
My bad for cutting you off. Not in that situation either. You don't call that on a game-winning kick. Yeah, that's crazy. Go ahead, though, bro.
Yeah, but then you beat the Titans, lose to the Rams. That was the first time everyone started. I didn't even rag on Daniel Jones in that game. I didn't even rag on him in that game. I thought he played very well. But after that, you beat the Raiders. Okay, beat the Arizona Cardinals. All right, even though that was a closer game. Beat the Chargers. I was like, okay, that's a statement game. I was like, no. That ain't a statement game because it's Justin Herbert. Even though he's playing better, it's still Justin Herbert. I got to see it in the postseason. Like we want to hold these elite quarterbacks to such a standard, but we like to sweep things under the rug when we see certain big games. Justin Herbert in another big game didn't show up. Shocker. Same guy that got beat by Jackson Dart. But then came the Steelers game, and I was like, this right here is the game I've been waiting to see because now you out of the comforts of Lucas Oil Stadium, you in the elements now. And you in Pittsburgh, AFC Norfolk. Let's see how you do. That first drive when they scored, I was like, all right, maybe I'm wrong about Daniel Jones. I was like, for a second, I was like, maybe I'm wrong. And then fumble, interception. I'm like, no, never mind. Still Daniel Jones. Jonathan Taylor, ineffective. Nope, still Daniel Jones. And the trend continued. They should have lost to Atlanta.
No, they should have.
They should have lost to Atlanta, but they got lucky because Jonathan Taylor saved the day once again. That's the key. It's like I'm not even trying to be funny. It's just Jonathan Taylor, who, in my opinion, should win the MVP. He's this year's Saquon Barkley, but they're going to give it to a quarterback. But that is the key right there. So every team is going to literally load up on Jonathan Taylor to contain him. As long as he does not go off, you will beat the Indianapolis Colts, especially now that Daniel Jones is compromised. Go on.
Let me make this point to put a more feather in your cap about the Colts and their possible collapse. The Colts last 5 games at Jacksonville, at Seattle, versus the home against the 49ers, home against Jacksonville, at the Texans. So the Colts right now are 8-4. They possibly could be 8-9. They could lose all those games. Like seriously, legit. They could lose at Jacksonville. They could lose at Seattle. They play San Fran, lose again, and then lose the last 2 division games, Jacksonville and at Houston. Go ahead, bro.
Real quick, I want to make sure, like with Jacksonville, that I give credit to Trevor Lawrence. I've been very vocal about Trevor Lawrence over the past few weeks on Club JG, saying he's the most overrated quarterback in the past few years. I still feel that way, but he has been playing very good football. I want to make sure I give him credit, so I'm not coming off as anything crazy like I'm a racist or something like that or anything like that. Trevor Lawrence is playing really well, guys. Hey guys, Trevor Lawrence is playing pretty good football. Congratulations. I still think he's freaking overrated. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you feel differently. I want to make sure I get that point out there.
I know about that racist comment you suffered. Such buffoonery and stupid talk. I agree with you. So I guess I'm a racist too because I think Trevor Lawrence is one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league. The man was picked number 1 and only got 1 playoff win in his whole career. So yeah, we expect more from the number 1 pick. And they was talking about Trevor Lawrence differently than almost every number 1 pick. They was talking about 2 teams taking for this guy. He was the guy. He was the guy. This is the can't miss surefire number 1 overall pick. Instant franchise changer. Okay. Well, the coach is the problem. Let's fire him. Oh, the coach is the problem again. Let's fire him again. Yeah. What's up, man? He's on his 3rd coach. So I mean, at some point in time, you feel me? What we gonna do with Trevor? So Trevor Lawrence is playing well. Let's give him credit. Jacksonville 8-4. The Colts are 8-4. The Texans 7-5. 1 point on the Texans before we move. That Texans defense, amazing, stellar. They just need the key for the Texans, offensive line play. That offensive line play can hold up for C.J. Stroud, for them to run the ball, get the ball to their playmakers. They will be a serious contender. They make the AFC playoffs because that defense will have them in every game. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the best segment in sports. This week's edition of Let's Talk About It, as it is every NFL week, is our takeaways. John, your NFL Week 13 takeaways, my brother. The floor is yours.
Okay, so my week 13 takeaways. The Dallas Cowboys are a legit threat to make the playoffs. I never thought I'd even say this about the Cowboys, especially after they got let go of Michael Parsons. I ragged on Jerry Jones. I thought that he was just having an ego moment where it's like, I'm Jerry Jones, you're mini little Michael Parsons. Like, you don't tell me what to do. So I thought, once again, he's getting in the way, and the Cowboys are going to have another subpar season to laughable. And then we still have to talk about him just because of the Dallas Cowboys. But I get a different feeling with this team. I get Dak Prescott showing off his leadership. I think this team is going to fight. And if you win this game against the Detroit Lions, I think the Cowboys can win out, putting even more pressure on the Philadelphia Eagles to, dare I say, overtake them in the NFC East. That's my number one takeaway. Another one I got here. Don't look now, but the Chicago Bears are the number one seed in the NFC. Did anybody pick that going into the season with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson? Ben Johnson has proven to be already an elite football coach. He was destined to be a head coach. Caleb Williams, good.
I just wanted to say this. Silly me. I thought the Bears season ended when they lost to the Ravens. That's what somebody told me. I thought their season ended when they lost at home to the Ravens. It's crazy how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, bro, don't worry about it. It's an inside joke. He know who I'm talking about. He got it. I thought the Bears season ended when they lost to the Ravens. You feel me? That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. But no, the Chicago Bears.
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Let's give them credit. Let's stop questioning if they're legit. They just took out the Super Bowl champions in Philadelphia, and they did it with physical running the football. Monangai and Swift both with over 125 yards. Just taking it to the Eagles. A team that normally does that to everyone else. They beat the Eagles playing Eagle-style football. Caleb Williams, again, you love to see them cut down the turnovers, those little mistakes here and there, but he has played so much better and so much more under control than he was last year, and that's a direct effect of coaching. Never say that coaching doesn't matter in the NFL. It certainly does. Ben Johnson has transformed Caleb Williams, and he's still a work in progress. He's going to get better, but Caleb Williams has made solid throws when he needs to. And this Bears defense, we don't give them enough credit. They're one of the league's best in takeaways. They somehow got a takeaway on the tush push. No one's done that. This guy, and look, maybe there's a blueprint to stopping the tush push. The guy literally came around and took the ball from Jalen Hurts. That was brilliant. So you put that together with the running attack that they've had, the improved offensive line. Chicago Bears, they might win the North, and they might legit have a shot at winning a playoff game or two. Who knows? Now we'll see what happens with the Packers. But give the Chicago Bears some love. They are legit. Let's stop questioning that. And then my last takeaway, as I go through the games here. Sorry, give me 1 second.
No,
the AFC North. Man, I don't know who we can trust. I don't know who we can trust. I gotta be honest. Even with me, I'm a passionate Ravens fan. What I saw scared me because I know Lamar Jackson has been injured. We have to be real about that. But I'm not going to give him that injury excuse on that Thanksgiving. I can't. I defend Lamar Jackson as much as I can, as often as I can. You know this.
Yes, you do.
I could not. There was no way I could defend that Thursday night. It had nothing to do with injuries. It had everything to do with mental. Missed throws high, missed throws to guys that are just opening for a screen pass. That ain't Lamar Jackson. That's not him. That's not him. The fumbles, on the pump fake, like that's not him. So if that's the Lamar Jackson I'm going to see, you're telling me that you're going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and you're going to go into Cincinnati after what they just did to you and beat Joe Burrow? You telling me you're going to go on the road to the Green Bay and beat the Packers and Jordan Love, who just got finished dismantling the Detroit Lions, you telling me you're going to beat Drake May and Mike Vrabel? Not with this Lamar Jackson. No way. And as we saw, the Ravens are nothing without a healthy Lamar Jackson. They have no chance, as we saw. So for everybody that thought that Lamar had a super team, and I'm not going to get too much of a rant, Lamar has such a super team and all these Hall of Famers. We saw what happened when he got injured. He wasn't in the game. That's the Baltimore Ravens without him. And
it was some fool. It was some fool. Let me cut you off. I just want to point this because I never spoke on this. It was some fool on Bleacher Report that said Lamar Jackson is the most overrated quarterback. Hey, sir, did you watch the Ravens?
I got him too. Yeah, I got him. Yep.
Did you? No, because I never spoke on that, so I just want to speak on it. Do I think Lamar's criticized sometimes fairly and sometimes unfairly? That's fine. We can debate on that, disagree on that. That's fine. To sit here and say the man is overrated, that's flat out insanity. Like, that's insanity. Because all you have to do is watch the Ravens play without him, and you see what type team they are.
His name is Alex K from Bleacher Report. I want to make sure I put a name to that because people will want to like talk and not put their face to it. I'm gonna put a name and a face to it, my friend. And yes, Lamar Jackson gets unfairly criticized a lot more than other players. He said that his MVPs were fraudulent.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Who else? What other quarterback who's won MVP has anyone ever said that about their MVPs other than Lamar Jackson?
That's crazy.
Anyone else in the history of the league?
That's crazy.
There's something smelling over there.
Yeah, it's something there, and I don't want to speculate what that is, but it's something there because in basketball, Steve Nash won the MVP. I didn't think he was better than Kobe or Shaq, but I'm not going to take his MVP away from him. I can disagree with the media and still say he won the MVP. You feel me?
Yeah, you're not going to say the MVP was fraudulent. I feel the same way. I was pissed about that. I didn't think Dirk should have won the MVP over Kobe, but they gave it to Dirk. I just disagree. I'm not going to call it fraudulent. No, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
that is
continuing on with the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers. We just saw what the Buffalo Bills did to them. I mean, that defense got punked in Pittsburgh. The most rushing yards ever allowed in that stadium on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. That's concerning. Now, Aaron Rodgers didn't look great. He started to look like an old man. He was an old man before the season started, so I don't know why people were concerned about that. He actually hasn't been the problem this season for Pittsburgh. I think he's lowered on that tier. The problem going in was you decided to trade George Pickens. Dumb. You got Jonnu Smith. You got Pat Fryer moving, and you got Calvin Austin with DK Metcalf. Calvin Austin ain't no 50-50 receiver. He's little.
Exactly.
He can't get separation.
Him and Roman Wilson are little.
Roman Wilson, I'm a fan of coming out of Michigan. I think he's pretty good. But again, he's little. He's not going to get a lot of separation. You're one 50-50 guy who you don't even throw to for whatever reason. DK Metcalf is limited. You're barely using him. Now is it the defense, maybe, or is it just the play calling? I know our friend Tim is very not high on Arthur Smith, but
yes,
the play calling has been crazy. The offensive line has been inconsistent. Aaron Rodgers is not running away from people anymore. He's openly said that. This ain't Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay where he's pirouetting and throwing 60 yards with the flick of the wrist, running the wrong side and turning his body on. He's not doing that anymore. He even said that himself. So if this offensive line can't hold up, Aaron Rodgers ain't really going nowhere. So we're looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers possibly, dare I say, have the first losing record under Mike Tomlin and writing the end of the Mike Tomlin era. That conversation is going to get louder as the season goes on, I think. And everybody's talking about Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow's back. Everyone's saying, hey, they can run the table. Okay, so here's the problem with that argument. Does Joe Burrow play defense?
He does not.
Does he play safety? Does he play linebacker, defensive end, or does he just play quarterback on the offensive side of the ball?
He just plays quarterback.
You guys know in football you have to play defense to win games, right?
And special teams.
And special teams. Everyone is so high on the defense because Burrow's back and Bengals had a good night against the Ravens defense. They're all of a sudden just going to forget about all the problems they've had this entire season. Like, this is going to instantly turn around because Joe Burrow's back. Guys, Cincinnati was scoring 40 points with Joe Flacco. The offense ain't the problem. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going to be there. They're going to score. We know this. But at some point in time, you have to get stops. If you don't get stops, it doesn't matter what you do. And knock on wood, I do not want to see Joe Burrow get hurt again this season. But, I know how great Joe Burrow is. He is elite. I know this. he don't play defense. And you honestly can sit there with a straight face and tell me that the Cincinnati Bengals defense is going to just replicate what they did on Thursday night against the Ravens, based on what you've seen the entire season. I watched Caleb Williams and the Bears beat them with 13 seconds left when they scored 40. You couldn't get a stop, and it was bad. Like, no one touched the guy for 60 yards. It was bad. I've seen this multiple times, so it's like, look, I even said it. If the Bengals somehow manage to duplicate that defense for the next 5 games, and Cincinnati ends up winning the AFC North or some crazy thing, I'll go jump in the Inner Harbor. I'll have somebody get the phone and watch me jump into the Inner Harbor.
Oh my God! Dang.
And I said, and I want to be clear about this: if the Cincinnati Bengals defense plays better like they did against Thursday, I ain't say if the Bengals get in off of just Joe Burrow. I say if the defense plays the way that they did, I'll jump in the Inner Harbor. So no, I don't think the Bengals are going to win the North. Will they make it interesting? Sure, because you got Joe Burrow, you got a chance to win every game. But at the same time, you have to play defense to win football games. You cannot play one side of the ball and expect to win. It just doesn't work like that.
Great takeaways, my brother. My first takeaway, I'm actually going to go off of your AFC North part. AFC North is up for grabs. Ravens 6-6, Steelers 6-6, Bengals 4-8. My co-host just went through the Ravens' tough part of their schedule, so we kind of understand what they are. Offense with Lamar, we need to, I said last week, one of my takeaways, I need to see the Ravens elevate to a championship offense. Obviously, we didn't see that on Thanksgiving. They still have a chance to win the division, make some noise in the playoffs, but that offense has to be better. The one thing about Thursday night that made it look bad for Lamar, Joe Burrow missed a couple months. It was hit and miss at the beginning, but then got hot. Lamar Jackson only missed a couple weeks. You feel me? It was just missing high, low, left, right, up, down, whatever. You feel me? So that wasn't the best look for Lamar. But again, the Ravens still have a chance of winning the division. I think that they will find a way to win the AFC North. Moving to the Steelers, I think they have names on their team, but they're not a good team. Old quarterback, and the defense is old. When this season is over, they need to reset their defense because that defense is old. From Cam Hayward in the middle to Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, all them old gentlemen, they gotta get them up out of there. You feel me? They need some youth. They need some enthusiasm. They need some young players in there to go along with the veterans to make that defense win. Now the Cincinnati Bengals. You mentioned the Bengals and their defense. Bengals defense has been, they have played well the past few weeks. They gave up 20 against the Patriots. They gave up 14 against the Ravens. Their last 5 games, they're at Buffalo, home against the Ravens, at Miami, home against the Cardinals, home against the Browns. So they should win 4 of those games.
No,
they should. Not 4 of those games. They should win 3 of those games. Their 2 hardest games, week 14, week 15. At Buffalo, home against the Ravens. If they find a way to win both of those games, I think they'll beat at Miami, even though Miami is getting better at the end of the season. I think they'll beat Arizona, and I think they'll beat Cleveland. So I don't necessarily think they'll beat Buffalo and Baltimore at home. So the AFC North to me is definitely up for grabs. Definitely.
They don't play well. They don't play well against the Browns in Cleveland. Are they home? Are they home against Cleveland or on the road?
No, they're home against Cleveland. They played Cleveland week 1 at Cleveland. They defeated them. Okay. They beat them 17-16.
Okay. That's a little different there. That game was in Cleveland. They don't have a good history against that. Myles Garrett, tends to wreck things. So I feel like it would have to be the same effect. Yeah, Miami Dolphins are playing a lot better football. The Arizona Cardinals aren't going to be an easy game either. Now that they're under Jacoby Brissett. Trust me. Playing better football, since they benched Kyler Murray. So none of these games are going to be simple at all. I think Buffalo honestly will end all this talk about them making it to the playoffs, because if you think that Josh Allen and that running game is going to be stopped by this Cincinnati's defense, yeah, good luck.
I agree with you on that sentiment. I'm more leaning to Buffalo to defeat Cincinnati, but that is a game on Sunday I definitely will have my eye on. My second takeaway from this week in the NFL, I want to give some love to the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers are the most up and down team in the NFL. I picked them to be second in the NFC South. I think they will be second in the NFC South. It was a bad week last week for the NFC South playing the NFC West. If you remember, the last 2 primetime games last week was the Buccaneers at the Rams, NFC South, NFC West. NFC West destroyed the NFC South. Monday night, It was the Panthers at the 49ers. The 49ers destroyed the Panthers, NFC West over the NFC South. Yesterday, Arizona played at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got a 3-point win at home. They defeated the NFC South, defeated the NFC West. And again, the Carolina Panthers defeated the hottest team in the NFL, the Los Angeles Rams. They defeated them 31-28. So this Jekyll and Hyde team that we see with the Carolina Panthers, I wish they would be more high than low, but you expect that out of a young team. Bryce Young played well. The defense forced 2 turnovers against Matthew Stafford. So shout out to the Panthers, man. That Jekyll and Hyde. They ever could work on stop being Jekyll and Hyde and just be consistent. Carolina Panthers definitely, not this year, but maybe next year, they definitely can win the NFC South for sure. My next takeaway, make this short and sweet. Aaron Rodgers, I picked you last year in the Jets to go to the Super Bowl. Brother, it's time. Come on home with the rest of us. Come on home, bro. Come on home, man. It's time. Bro, you playing out there with a hard cast on your hand, man. Like, it's time. We get it. Like, if Aaron Rodgers continuously plays football, he needs to play behind the best offensive line ever created. That damn sure ain't the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think it's time for Aaron Rodgers to he's a hell of a player, first ballot Hall of Fame. I think it's time, man, for him to go and wrap it up, man. I think it's time. It's not the same player. Aaron Rodgers has to get the ball out quickly than he's ever had to. He doesn't have the same escapability as he did in the past. So I think it's time for Aaron to hang it up, man. Hell of a career, but it's time. My last takeaway. I've been critical, as you said, of Trevor Lawrence. I picked the Jaguars last season to win the AFC South. They wet the bid. That's why Liam Cohen is the coach now over Doug Peterson. But I gotta give Jacksonville some credit. They're finding ways to win. They're currently first place in the AFC South. Trevor Lawrence is playing well. Trevor Lawrence is another Jekyll and Hyde type of quarterback. 1 minute he'll make a throw, you like, oh my God. The next minute you like, bro, what are you saying? What are you doing? But I gotta give Jacksonville credit. Gotta give him some love. 8-4. Shout out to Liam Cohen. He was the Tampa Bay offensive coordinator last season. He's the Jacksonville Jaguar head coach this season. In Carolina, Dave Canales was the Tampa Bay offensive coordinator. Now he's the head coach in Carolina, doing well. So shout out to the 2 old offensive coordinators for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, doing good in their current destination in Carolina and Jacksonville. Doing a great job down there, Liam. Keep it up, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching Highly Opinionated. We will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is brought to you by Edibly Airy. Enjoy the heightened experience of THC edibles in a whole new way. At Edibly Airy, our freeze-dry edibles available in 100 milligram, 200 milligram, 300 milligram, 400 milligram will give you the buzz you crave with a flavor you won't forget. Available in 3 different flavors: watermelon sunset, tropical fruit, and berry. To place orders, please visit the website at ediblyairy.com. While you're there at ediblyairy.com, use a promotion code. You guys see the promotion code on the screen. $ Highly Airy, $. Again, $ Highly Airy, $ for 20% off your first purchase. Follow us on IG at Edibly Airy for new product releases and monthly hookups. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Edibly Airy, the best freeze-dry edibles out. Go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Jam-packed episode of Highly Opinionated. John, as we always do, wrapping up the show, Week 14 NFL preview. Let's start off. To me, the biggest game of the Week 14 schedule. The 6-5-1 Dallas Cowboys travel to the 7-5 Detroit Lions. This game is Thursday night on Amazon Prime. Al Michaels, Kurt Herbstreit, Kaylee Harton on the call. Detroit's favored by 3. The over-under's 53.5. John, will the Cowboys keep their streak going, or will Detroit get their 8th win on the season?
The beginning of the week of desperation in the NFL begins on Thursday night. 2 teams that cannot afford to lose. My gut is telling me that the Dallas Cowboys are going to upset the Detroit Lions. I just think the Cowboys have more momentum right now. The Detroit Lions, after what I saw against the Packers, their offensive line is shaky. I think that there's ways that can be exploited. And again, I don't think this defense of the Lions can deal with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I just feel like you can't double both of them. If you try to do that, Jake Ferguson will get loose. So I just feel like Now, the key here is how will the Cowboys defend Jahmyr Gibbs? If they can slow Jahmyr Gibbs down, that tells me the Cowboys are definitely going to win this game. But I think just off of momentum alone, I think the Cowboys have a lot more of the good vibes on their side, and I think they win this game.
So you like Dallas Cowboys to get their 7th win, improve to 7-5-1.
I do.
Detroit offensive line problems. They went out and tried to re-sign. They tried to get Frank Ragnar out of retirement. He failed his physical, so he can't even come back to the team. That's how bad they were on the offensive line going into coming from the Thanksgiving game. But they got him before that. He took the physical. He failed the physical, so he can't come back. I think Detroit will not have Amon-Ra St. Brown this game. Quick turnaround from last Thursday to playing a week, literally a week later. So I am taking the Dallas Cowboys. I think they're the more desperate and the better team currently coming into this game. Give me the Cowboys to defeat the Detroit Lions on Thursday. Should be a great game on Thursday. Looking forward to watching. Next game we're going to preview, ladies and gentlemen, a game near and dear to my co-host heart. The Pittsburgh Steelers coming to Baltimore. Both teams coming to the game 6-6. This game is Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern on CBS. This is getting CBS 18. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wilson will be on the call in Baltimore. I'll start us off. The Baltimore Ravens are favored by 5.5. The over-under is 43.5. Again, both teams come in at 6-6. I am going to take the Baltimore Ravens. I think Aaron Rodgers is injured. The Steelers' offense to me doesn't scare anything or anyone. Just do a good job covering DK Metcalf, and I think the Baltimore Ravens will find a way with the defense playing well to shut down the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me the Ravens to defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's no logic with my take. This is straight emotion. Pick it the hell up. After what I saw on Thanksgiving last Thursday, that was embarrassing. You embarrassed the entire city. Lamar Jackson, I don't know what the hell going on with you, bro. I know you've been injured. I get it. But you got to pick it the hell up. All right? Like, this ain't you. You're a better quarterback than this. I defend you as much as I can. I think that most of the criticism you get is unfair and ridiculous. But right now, you're making me look bad. I need you to pick it up, my guy. I need you to pick it up. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers coming to Baltimore. They're the most hated team since I've been born. I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers with a passion. But I also respect them because I know they ran very well. Ran very well by Mike Tomlin. I got a lot of respect for him. But I can't stand it. Can't stand the fans. I dated a Steelers fan in college for 5 years. I can't believe I did that. I'll never do it again. I need the Ravens to pick it up. You're at home. The AFC North is on the line. I need you to pick it up and take care of your business. Run the damn football with Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell. Stop throwing the freaking ball 50 times for no reason. Yes. Run the football. I don't want to see Rasheen Ali out-snapping Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell. I don't want to see that again. Only time I see Rasheen Ali is on special teams. That's it. That's all I want to see.
And then an occasional play on offense. I don't mind them getting in the play on offense here. But he should not have more snaps than Mitchell and Derrick Henry. That's crazy.
Perfectly fine. He can be on the field with some snaps. He's played pretty well. But I don't want to see him outgaining Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell. But it starts with number 8. Lamar Jackson picked it up, bro. Pick it up, bro. You do better than this. This ain't you. All this talk about you overrated or you're not really the guy you think. Bunch of nonsense. Pick it up, bro. Remind them who you are. Remind them who you are. You're at home, bro. AFC North's on the line. You have to play better. Because when you play better, Derrick Henry runs the ball better. When Derrick Henry runs the ball better, this defense is more refreshing. They start getting stops. They start looking like the defense we saw over the past few games, albeit against J.J. McCarthy, Tyrod Taylor, so-and-so. A lot of the reason they got burnt Thursday night was because they were on the field too freaking long because of you and your turnovers. They were on the field entirely too long. I need you to be better. And you are better. So pick it up. I got the Ravens.
We both like the Ravens. Hey, bro, I'm going to just say this quick before we go to the next game. That's the same speech my girlfriend gives me every time I lose a bet. Pick it up. You making me look bad. Pick it up. So I've heard that speech too many times. I got it. Lamar, you heard my man. Pick it up, play better. Do your job, bro. Do your damn job. Play well.
Why are you like this? Hey,
bro, no. I've heard that speech plenty of times. I'm just saying. Pick it up. You out here hosting a sports show, and you can't win a damn bet. Pick it up. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
my bad. I'm sorry, my bad. Past karma coming back to me. We both like the Ravens to win the game. Should be a great game, 1 o'clock on CBS. The last game we're going to preview for week. I'm sorry, bro. I've just been hearing it too much. Week 14, the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Chicago Bears at 9-3, travel to take on the 8-3-1 Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are favored by 6.5. The over/under is 44.5. John, who wins this NFC North showdown? The Chicago Bears or the Green Bay Packers?
This is actually a tough one. Both defenses are playing very well. I got to tell you, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears here on the road to beat the Packers in Lambeau. I like what I've been seeing from the Chicago Bears team. I like how they've been running the football. Caleb Williams has played relatively mistake-free football. You know, there's a couple of interceptions you love to have back there, but he's played relatively well. He's played, you know, not the critical mistakes that put your team at, you know, put your defense at a peril. But I just feel like, and I just don't know which Jordan Love I'm going to get. I can't trust it. Like, that's the main thing. Like, I can't trust what Jordan Love I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to get the Jordan Love that I just saw against the Lions on Thanksgiving. I don't know if it's going to be the guy that showed up in Lambeau on Monday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know which guy I'm going to get. I do know to a degree what I'm going to get from Caleb Williams in the Chicago Bears offense. I do know what I'm going to get from Ben Johnson. So I trust that a little bit more right now than I do the Packers. So give me the Bears by a field goal, I would say.
You like the Bears to defeat the Packers on the road. Should be a great. This is the first time they played Week 14 and then they played Week 16. So they played 2 times in the next 3 weeks. So with it being that close to each other, both, if we pick this game in Week 16, I'm going to take the home team in that game because I think both teams are good. So I think it'll be split 1-1. So for this particular game, I am taking the Green Bay Packers. Everyone knows I'm a big, I'm not big Chicago Bears fan, but I can see that I could have early in the season when they played the Commanders and I seen them win that game and how they won that game. You can see like the trajectory going up. Look at Washington last season. They beat Chicago in a Hail Mary. They ended up in the NFC Championship game. I'm not saying the Bears are going to the NFC Championship game or higher this year, but you can see the trajectory that they have on their team. And I just think this is the right spot, right time for Green Bay. The Chicago Bears defense has feasted on turnovers. I think we get good Jordan Love this week. I don't think Green Bay turns the ball over. Josh Jacobs, the receivers, Jordan Love. We get good Jordan. We get good J-Lo, good Jordan Love this week. Give me the Packers to defeat the Bears. And Packers improve that record. If they win that game, they'll be 9-3-1, and the Bears will drop to 9-4. I think the Bears will make the playoffs. It's been a successful year for the Bears, but I think both teams win on their home field. Ladies and gentlemen, as you see on your screen, notable Week 14 matchups. Some great matchups this week. Again, on you guys' screen, you see the games. JG, we have the notable games for Week 14. Cincinnati at Buffalo, Sunday at 1. The Colts at the Jaguars, 2 8-4 teams in the AFC South. The AFC South League will be on the line Sunday at 1 p.m. The Texans at the Chiefs, Sunday night on NBC at 8:20. And the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Los Angeles Chargers Monday night at 8:15. JG, which of those 4 games catches your attention?
Oh, it's the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals for sure. I'm keeping a close eye on that because, one, how consistent is Buffalo going to be going forward? Because as we've seen throughout the season, Buffalo has not been very consistent. And going into the season, I thought Buffalo was going to be 14 wins. They were going to run away with this division. I thought they were going to absolutely cakewalk through the schedule. And yet they've lost to the Falcons. They lost to the Texans, who are obviously legit defense. But there were just some head scratches where it's like, well, what's going on, Buffalo? Like, everyone's saying this is Josh Allen's year. This is Buffalo's year with Mahomes and the Chiefs on the down, with Baltimore, with Cincinnati, you know, clinging to life, honestly, with the playoff. Everyone thought it was Buffalo's year. They've been very inconsistent. Like I talk about Jonathan Taylor and the Colts with running the football, James Cook needs to be featured. When James Cook runs the ball over 100 yards, Bills win. Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over as much. He plays a lot better. I'm not saying that Josh Allen isn't legit. I'm not saying that he's not a great quarterback. The Bills Mafia cool off. Josh Allen is an amazing quarterback. But James Cook is the key. When he runs the ball effectively, the Bills win, and Josh Allen turns the ball over less. And Bills have the ability to help me out by getting the Cincinnati Bengals off the Ravens' butt. So, come on, Josh. Come on, Buffalo.
Ladies and gentlemen, you guys know as football fans, you watch your team, but you also watch the teams that they're competing with. So, for example, me, I like Carolina. I just don't want them to win the South. I picked them to be second best in the division. So when Tampa Bay's on and Carolina's on, yeah, I'm watching. Like I watched Tampa Bay and Arizona the other Sunday. Okay, cool. And then I'm watching the Rams and the Panthers as well. So I think Sunday we'll definitely be texting each other. And I think Sunday, I think that run of Cincinnati might win the AFC North. I think that might hit. So I think you probably be right on that. I think we both like the Bills in that game. The game, you guys see on the screen, the two notable games I want to mention: the Texans at the Chiefs and the Eagles at Chargers. I'll be quick. The Super Bowl contenders of last year's Super Bowl, both teams are in a fragile place. The Eagles' offense is in a fragile place. The Kansas City playoff hopes is in a fragile place. Which one of these two teams can rise up? Can the Eagles salvage their offense, get their offense together? They got a championship defense. Can the Kansas City Chiefs essentially win out to try to make the playoffs and try to defend their AFC championship crown? Should be a great week 14 in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, college basketball. We about to get up out of here. You guys see on the screen the college basketball schedule for the week. Notable games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. The game that I'm looking forward to, you guys know I'm a Duke fan. Saturday at 12 o'clock on Fox. It was usually big noon kickoff. No. It's not big noon kickoff no more. Football season is winding down for Fox. Fox has the Big Ten championship game, and they have the Holiday Bowl. So they've switched over to college basketball. I am looking at Duke and Michigan State. I just seen Michigan State play North Carolina last week, and they defeated Michigan State. I am a Duke fan, but I am being honest. I think Michigan State defeats Duke on Saturday. I think this is Duke's first true road game. I like the Spartans to defeat Duke. I think the two best teams in college basketball is the Michigan State Spartans and the Michigan Wolverines. It's a travesty that the Michigan Wolverines are not ranked the number one team in the country. They are better than Purdue. Did you see what Michigan did in the Players Era tournament? They defeated San Diego State. They defeated they played Gonzaga. Didn't they play Gonzaga in the championship?
Destroyed them.
And destroyed them. They beat everybody by that. They beat everybody by at least 25 points in the Players Era tournament. By the way, we're going to have to get to that when you come on during the basketball season. The Players Era tournament with that NIL deal, they're taking over away. They're taking away from the Battle for Atlantis, and they're taking away from the Maui Invitational. That's another subject for another day. College basketball, ladies and gentlemen, I think Michigan State finds a way to beat Duke. JG, any game catches your attention?
I echo your sentiments on Duke and Michigan State. True road game, true test for this young Duke team. Very, very talented, would come led by Cameron Boozer. Michigan State, this is a national championship contending team. Legendary coach Tom Izzo, once again, has a pretty good team now with a chance to do it. Also, there's a rumor floating around, stay tuned for this. There's a rumor floating around that this could be Tom Izzo's final season coaching. That he's contemplating retirement.
Wow. If that's the case, then yeah, we might need to put a little money down on Michigan State win the national championship, because they have a national championship team. Tom Izzo is one of the best coaches to ever do it. Hopefully this is not the end. I miss the old school coaches, but if it is, man, hell of a career. Salute. I'm going to keep watching you throughout the season. Great college basketball week. Again, you guys see the schedule on the screen. Looking forward to watching these games and dissecting these games and going forward, moving forward from it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for watching episode 61. For the best producer in the game, Ross, the best co-host in the game, JG, I am merely Josh. We will see you guys next week. We out.